Hey, everybody on YouTube. We are kicking off a brand new week, and it is a special, special show here tonight. Not only do we have Butch Witkowski back for Strange Days, but on November 30th, 2014, we started Spaced Out Radio. And I'm going to be foregoing the news tonight to kind of go over the anniversary side of everything and, what all of you and what this show means to me. So bear with me on that for a little bit later. And Butch is here on a scale of crankiness, 1 to 10. He's only at about a 5.5 right now. So I got to think of something that's going to piss him off before the show starts. Get him right where we need him. I'll figure it out. My brain... I know you're rolling your eyes, Butch. I know you are. Oh, let's give the roll call. I'm dying here, people. I am absolutely dying here. You have no idea how much pain I'm in right now. I'll explain here in a minute. All right. Hi, Kimberly Jackshaw. You're looking gorgeous tonight. Jack Clark, welcome back, my friend. The Ronald Penton is here, everyone. The Ronald Penton. Good to have you back, man. Chris Moe, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And who else do we got here? We have Cat Chaser. Thank you for always coming in here. Steph Dickey, you were looking beautiful in Florida tonight. And remember, don't forget to bring a towel when you get out of the shower. Trust Divine Mercy, appreciate you coming on in. Really a pleasure to have you back. Brett Lewis is here, everyone. Brett Lewis means we officially can start this show, so we're in good hands. Hi, little Deborah. Good to see you back. Bee's Nest, always a pleasure. Vinster, how you doing, man? Thank you for coming on in. Dirty Filth, you're looking just absolutely filthy tonight. By the way, I love your new Sasquatch, man. I think you should do that around Edmonton. That is fantastic. Who else we got? Burrito, how you doing? Thank you for coming on in. There she is, everybody. Alaska's greatest athlete, Ladybug Bigelow. I am so proud of you, and I'm going to keep that between you and me, but I got you. Read my last note that I sent to you on Instagram, if you don't mind. Millennium, good to see you here. And we want to say thank you to Major Lee for kicking off the Super Chat tonight. Major Lee, you are awesome. Thank you so much for your continued support of what we do here on Spaced Out Radio. It means a lot. It really does, man. Thank you. Who else do we got? Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Millennium are here, everyone. We love these guys. Why? Because it's Millennium and Bigfoot Michigan Rob. That's why. Boo to Go 66. Good to see you. The Jim Christie is here, everyone. Yes, the Jim Christie. Fast Hemi, good to have you here. All the way from the UK, Commonwealth Andrew. Good morning to you. Thank you so much. Worsley, how you doing? I know beautiful Becky Belling is around the building as well somewhere. I did see her name. There she is. Oh, yeah. You're looking stunning tonight, beautiful Becky Belling. Bisler, how you doing? Eugene Braxton, right there, my friend. Lots of love for you. Always give a care about how you're doing, my friend. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Alien Girl. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on in. Spudgy, how you doing? Oob to Joe's Maine. Oob. Yes. Stu Gerson. You know what that means, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate you. The gorgeous, lovely, and talented Larry Schulte is here, everyone. Kyle Evans, good to have you back. Kristen Alberg, you were looking stunning this evening. Thank you for joining us. Oob to Joe's Maine, you've got aliens. Yes, you do. Inzane, thank you so much for the amazing super chat, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate your love, support, everything, man. Hey, there he is, the legend himself, Barther L. and the Third Nipple Crew. Yes, he's all pricked up for tonight. Tina P., you were looking stunning tonight. Rich Hilke, thanks for coming on in. Casual Conversations with G&A. What does G&A stand for? Please let us know. I need to know. Good to have you here. Thank you. Butch Witkowski's here, everyone, in the chat room. Look at him. He's almost happy in there, people. He's almost happy. He's got the love seat over in the corner if anybody wants to join him. That's right. And Ash Dobbs, good to have you back. Thank you so much for coming on in, man. Scotty Eisner, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you. Hold on, we're going to start up the one feed. And who else we got? Who am I missing? Lord of Land, I appreciate you coming on in. God, this is getting lots. 70 people in here, and we haven't even started. Guns and assholes. That's not very nice there, Barther. Not very nice. Aliens visit here. Where? Who? Where? Where's Carl? How are you? Thanks for coming on in. Cable Guy Matt's here. Remember, everyone, when you buy a T-shirt from the SOR Vault, you get a free piece of coaxial cable autographed by Cable Guy Matt. Remember, you cannot buy these in stores. Limit one per purchase. Hi, Mr. Apnea. Jenna, you're looking gorgeous tonight. Hi, Mark Holmes. Thanks for coming on in. We are live in 8 seconds here, everyone. Butch Witkowski's our guest. Let's rock and roll on this anniversary show. Mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. Remember, if you want to check out our archives, we have them free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. It's that time of the month once again where I bring in the man, the myth, and the crankiest legend of the paranormal, Mr. Butch Witkowski and Strange Days. Butch is a no-nonsense investigator who's been on the track of Bigfoot, Dogman, UFOs for the last couple of decades. Butch's answer to everything? I don't know what the hell is going on. Literally, that's the answer. But even though he doesn't know the answers, Butch and his UFOcop.com team are still on the hunt for these elusive legends. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, normally I get to the news, but it's a special day today. Today is the 6-year anniversary of Spaced Out Radio. We first launched on this date, and I can't be happier to share some moments of wisdom and knowledge and inside stuff on this show over the last 6 years. And I'm going to do that instead of the news at the bottom of hour number 3, and I hope you stick along for that as well. Mr. Butch Witkowski, thank you so much for being here on this anniversary show, my friend. How are you?
I'm fine. It's a pleasure. 6 years.
6 years.
Hard to believe.
Right? I know. I don't believe it myself sometimes. It just has flown on by. And you know what? I filled you in earlier, but I almost had to cancel this show. Almost had to cancel it. And I didn't want to. So tonight I was on the phone. And, you know, I was getting ready to take my son to hockey, and quickly I decided, you know what, I'm going to quickly run these recyclables outside to our bin. And I got to tell you, I slipped on my stairs that are icy. First time ever. Slipped on my stairs, and I cracked my left forearm on one of the stairs while I was falling, and my right hip went smack. And I said to the guy on the phone, I said, dude, I got to go. I just slipped on my stairs. I am like dying here, and I got to go. And so I somehow crawled up the stairs. I stood up in excruciating pain. You know that burning pain that you get when you really injure yourself and you start to feel really nauseous? Yeah, had that. Walk in the door, and I am just screaming in pain. And I literally collapsed on the floor. This is all like a couple of hours ago. I collapsed on the floor because my hardwood floor just looks so comfortable. I laid there for the next 45 minutes. My daughter went and got me a couple of Motrin and a Tylenol, which I popped, and I laid there for 55 minutes on the floor. 55 minutes. And I'll tell you, man, I felt great. I felt great afterwards. And I'm sore. So that's my story tonight, Butch. We almost had to cancel tonight's show, but it's the anniversary show, and I couldn't do it, man, especially with you coming on the air. So I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. I'll just wait for something to get me cranked up.
Well, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I mean, I almost die here. You know, I thought that might be enough, but apparently it's not.
No, man, I want to, smell flowers, hear music. You know what I mean?
Look, this isn't a romance show, man. This is Butch Witkowski's Strange Days. You're supposed to come in here already cranky, my friend.
Oh, I'm already cranky. Everything gets me cranky lately.
All right. Well, let's get things going here because I'll get into the 6th-year anniversary thing later on in the show. Not a big deal. But I got to ask you, do you remember the first night we ever had you on?
Kinda, yeah.
All right.
Yes, sort of.
Yes. So I remember that because, and I'm going to tell the audience here, my first time talking to Butch, I'm sure he was like, who the hell is this Canadian guy talking on here? And I was so intimidated that I never called him. I think only half the time I called him Butch. The other time, half I called him Bruce. And I could hear him getting more upset with me each and every time. And we were talking about human mutilations.
Yeah.
And that sparked an entire interest in what we are doing, man. Entire interest, because you blew my mind. And I thought after that 2-hour show, because we were only 2 hours back then, that you would never come back on. I'm like, oh, this cranky old bastard is never coming back on the show. Yet here you are every month for the last number of years until you decide to go get that heart attack last year, which really screwed things up.
Yeah, they did. I'm working on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, what have you been working on lately, man? With COVID again picking up and kind of shutting things down, how has this affected what you're doing?
Well, it affects what we're doing because, a lot of places we want to go to, we can't go because they're closed or they want proof of a COVID test and, all kind of crazy stuff. And, but that didn't stop the reports from coming in. They're coming in left and right. There was a few, that we're working on right now. I would put those in the UFO category. Bright lights in the northwestern sky, and we've seen them 3 times now. And it just seems like they come out of nowhere. There's like anywhere between 10 and 12 of them. They look like they're different color, red, green, white. They hang around for a few minutes, 3-4 minutes, something like that, and then they all just go away. But their flight patterns are all erratic. They're all over the place. They're sitting from one side to the other. But they kind of stay in I don't know how to say this. They kind of stay in a central location. I mean, they're not all over the sky. They stay in that northwestern sky. Now, that happens all the time because you have ice crystals that form in the atmosphere. And when starlight and moonlight hits it, it lights them up. And you have that effect. But we had no starlight. We had no moonlight because it was a very cloudy night the first time, and it was cloudy the second time. I was out looking tonight, and we have kind of slightly cloudy, but nothing out there. There is an uptick also in bipedal sightings. We have, I think, 4 this week. Yeah, 4. 2, I think, are pretty much a misidentification. I'm looking at some photographs right now that a gentleman took at a cottage type campground up in northern Pennsylvania. So, I mean, the stuff is happening, still coming in. But it's like you said with this COVID thing, there's like places we want to go that we can't. Now, we just got shut down again here. This is the third time we got shut down. And it can really be a pain in the butt because, you get stuff all ready to go, you make all the connections, you get everybody ready to rock and roll, and then they're saying, you ain't going nowhere. But one thing that I really got a 100% gain on all this stuff with this COVID was we picked up 3 rangers in 3 of our biggest investigation areas that are helping out, which before we couldn't even get them to say hello, goodbye. That's cool. So, they're not saying they're seeing something, but you know how that is when they're not saying they're not seeing anything. You can tell. So we're hoping that as soon as we can break out and get out in the field, and I don't care about the snow and stuff like that. We got 4-wheel drives and all that stuff. So it's just, you just want to get up and go, and something that has nothing to do with you whatsoever is holding up the whole ball game. Makes me just want to drive up to Harrisburg and slap a couple people in the back of the head and get their act together, because they change something every day. I mean, schools are open, schools are closed, businesses are open,
it's
businesses
all
are
over
closed.
That way, my friend. It's
everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Well, I mean, when they don't even know what the heck is going on, you can't blame them. But I mean, it doesn't stop these strange occurrences from happening. So have you kind of put the bipedal canines on back order right now and started stepping up more towards UFOs and things people are seeing at their home?
Well, no, I'm not backing off on the bipedals. I'm staying in touch with the people that are sending in video and photographs, so keeping in touch with those, the rangers, of course, and the UFO sightings. They really haven't slowed down a whole lot this year at all. Triangles in the very beginning of last year, and then it's kind of down to the orbs again. And I don't know, it's slowed down, but not like I would expect it to slow down, where you don't have a report or a call or anything for weeks. I mean, I'm getting something every few days, so that it keeps you busy, because you got to research, background research, and map it all out and all that stuff. So we'll see where it all takes us, but I just want to get out. I'm bored to death.
You want to hear a funny story? Kind of totally off topic. Funny story. My buddy, Little Marky Spender, who is watching right now, his dog Baxter, who's I believe a little English bull terrier or whatever he is. The dog's awesome. Love the dog. The dog has to watch my show. The dog loves it when I'm on YouTube. So Mark just sent me a picture of his dog sitting on his lap watching us do this interview right now. How awesome is that?
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty happy about that. So, yeah, total change of topic. I apologize. I just wanted to give a shout-out to my buddy Baxter. And, hi, Baxter. Now he's probably twisting his head and ears like, what? Who mentioned me? But anyways, let's get back to the monster talk here. So if people aren't allowed out right now, how are you getting these bipedal canine sightings?
Well, it's like the one I was just talking about up by the cottages. The guy actually takes care of the cottages at a lake. It's a private lake. He's like the caretaker. He doesn't live there, but he takes care of the place, checks it all out and stuff, takes care of everything, makes sure nothing is busted, burning, or anything like that. And he happened to be up there with his dog, and he was actually taking a picture of the dog that was sitting in a chair, a beautiful white German Shepherd. And the photo shows something in the tree line right behind, in line with the dog, in the shot of the dog. And again, it's a camera phone. These things drive me crazy because you can only go so far with them. But there is something there. And it's the right size, the right shape, I can't get it any clearer than I got it, but there's something there. And then he took a couple more shots, and he didn't see this thing. He was taking shots of the dog. And then he had, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 minutes later, he took the shot, and off to the left of the first shot that he took is another one. Now that one is, you can see it's crouched down, but you can actually make out the outline of something. It's not a bear. No, it's just not a bear. So, we're trying to do as best we can with what we're getting, Of course, it doesn't beat anything like being out in the field and, you know, actually getting to the spot where you can look around. But we have one of our investigators lives pretty close by, so he's going to try to get up there next weekend to meet the guy, because the guy doesn't go there every day. He kind of like, you know, goes there every couple of weeks, check everything out, make sure nobody stole any boats or anything like that. But as far as the UFO stuff, they just keep coming in off the website. Some decent pictures. Again, the ones with the camera phone things they're really, they're just such a pain, because you can't enhance them to any certain point where they just go oblivious. They just fade out. And so, wish people would use better cameras, but hey, they got something. So, take what we can get, right?
Well, I mean, I can hear your frustration and your anger mounting, which is good for our listeners. You know, that you're getting upset with these people taking pictures with their camera phones.
Well, you know, I get a better description when somebody doesn't take a photograph than what I get with a photograph. Because with a photograph, they take the photograph with the cell phone and they say, there it is, that's it. Well, that doesn't tell me anything, but I'll get somebody that'll write one in, and they may put a little drawing in or a little map and show a location, how it acted, what it looked like, approximate size, how high up it was. You know, I can get all kind of information that way. And, you know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with cell phone cameras. Some of them are very good. But if you're going to use that for investigations, buy one of those lenses that you put over the camera in the back, where you have a decent focal length where you can zoom in, zoom out, do whatever you got to do. But some of the cell phones, they're so bad. I mean, you know, I don't know. I just have a problem with them because I can't do anything with them. I know there's something there. I can see it. I can get it to a point, and then it either just disappears or gets all out of whack, or it gets so pixelated you can't tell one from the other. And then they kind of get upset with you because you couldn't tell them what it was. That's frustrating because, you know, I can only work with what I get. And I've already sent some stuff out to folks that that's all they do for a living. You know, they're photography people, and I don't know. It's trying to get us into doing a little more. I think I'm going to invest a little more in a couple more programs that are made for cell phone cameras. But you know, the minute I do that, everybody's going to run out and buy themselves a Nikon or a Canon.
Well, I mean, you know, I think what's more frustrating, though, is the fact that, and I'm sure this really grinds your old gears there, is the fact that you have a bunch of people out there who are investigators or claim to be investigators who are using cell phone cameras as part of their investigation. I mean, you can't blame the public who's walking the trails through the parks in Pennsylvania. You know. No, I agree with that 100%. And folks that are out there that are investigators or researchers using a cell phone camera, it's just crazy. I just can't believe that, you know, somebody would be out. Let's just say they find a piece of evidence, a good footprint or something like that. What kind of photo are they going to get with a camera phone? It's not going to show any depth because they don't really show good depth. It's not going to show anything. Even if they're laying a ruler aside of it, it's still not going to show a whole lot of stuff. But we did invest in a portable scanner, so that's pretty much going to do away with plaster casts. And I can't wait to get it. Should be here by the end of the week. But now that's a handheld scanner, and you can use it to scan anything. And you can be out in the field scanning, or one of my guys can be out in the field scanning a footprint, and he can send it to me on my desktop or laptop, tablet, whatever.
So trying to get away from some of that stuff. We did get an underwater camera because there's a couple places that, that we're getting strange stuff from ponds and a couple creeks. We are going to start using environmental DNA. We got those kits. So, I mean, we're trying to up the grade of the investigations with some new technology, and it's cool. We'll get there.
Well, I got to ask, going underwater cameras, I mean, this allows you to relive your tryouts for the U.S. synchronized swimming team, I bet.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days continues on Spaced Out Radio. Hey, Butch, there's been a lot of hype coming up in the UFO field over the last little bit here regarding a potential photograph that was captured within the last 12 months by an FA-18 Hornet, and we're expecting that article from Tim McMillan to come out in the next day or two here regarding this new outcome. Now, Science Bob McGuire, who comes on this show for Science Bob and Friends, he kind of did an awesome thing and broke that story with Grant Cameron and Nicole Sakic about a week ago, and it led to UFO Twitter going absolutely haywire. Good for you, Bob. I know you're listening, and I love you for it. But I got to ask you, do we need another photograph? Because this photograph that was caught is allegedly of a black triangle going vertical out of the water. And according to the reports that are going to come out, this photograph is clear. It was taken by an FA-18 Hornet that went to intercept it, and then this thing just shot right straight into the sky, disappearing.
Wow. Well, take any photograph we can get. I mean, it's really up to the investigators and the researchers to prove whether it's valid or not. But if you got something coming out of the water, I mean, the only other one I was ever familiar with was a Russian photograph, and that was back in the 50s, early 50s, mid 50s. And it was kind of fuzzy and stuff, but it was a cold day, and it was a film camera. And a matter of fact, it was medium format. I can't believe anybody was using a medium format camera, but you could see what it was. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a disc, and it was breaking through the water. But when the guy went to load the second shot, well, by that time it was gone. But triangles, I only have 2 photos of triangles. One is in the Exeter Township area of Pennsylvania, and the other one that was in Lancaster County about 3 years ago, where the guy was coming home from work, got out of his truck, and was heading into the house, and that was a cell phone picture. But it took a good shot because it was low, it was dark, the sky was light, so there was a lot there to work with.
Right. Right. Well, let's talk black triangles when we come back and a little bit more about this as well, because I think this is going to be an important topic with the UFO world in the next couple of days. And I'm curious to get your opinion on a lie, or on a lie. No, I mean, on what these things really are. Are they lying to us and they are our aircraft? Are they from somewhere, an alien craft? I don't know. But Butch Witkowski's Strange Days here on the 6th anniversary of Spaced Out Radio. You know, people, that means I've done around 1,500 plus shows. And I love every single one of them and can't wait for the future to continue here. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio after this. All right, we're clear, Butch.
Okay, I'm going to go fill my teacup.
You do that. You do that. Hi, Ibarra in Singapore. How are you? Thank you. Hey, a big thank you, guys, to everyone in our chat room so far. 134 of you. Half an hour in, 134 of you. Hi, Matthew Anderson. Good to have you here as well, man. Thank you to Cable Guy Matt, Kyle Evans, Aussie Rob, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Fapster, Inzane, and Major Lee for the super chats. already tonight. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being here for the 6-year anniversary show. We're not going to be doing the news at the back end of the show like we normally do. I'm just going to talk my way through it, talk some old SOR stories and everything like that. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am, and I hope you guys stick around too. Barther L., did you find anything good in the KFC dumpster today? I wish, however, we do not have a KFC in my town, my friend. Because if we had a KFC, it would be linked to a Taco Bell, which means Dave would be very happy. But Dave's not happy because there is no KFC, which means there is no Taco Bell. Hi, gorgeous Jessica McCreary. Thank you for coming back in. PBR, good to have you here, man. Look at that. Little Richie G is here, everyone. My good friend, Little Richie G. Thank you for coming on in, brother. Love you, man. Thank you. Matthew Anderson. Aaron is here, everyone. Aaron. Sir Brian Bowden, thank you so much for the congratulations, my friend. You know, you could do a podcast on this right now. That would give you, about 1,502 up to this date. I think it's a great idea. Opa, Greco, where have you been hiding, dude? It's been like a week and a half, 2 weeks, brother. Where have you been? I hope you're doing well, man. We've missed you around here. Thank you for coming on in. Yeah. Who else we got here? Uh-huh. Hey, Zach, how are you? Ibarata, good to have you here. I am so sore right now, guys. So sore. You'll probably hear me whining, bitching, and moaning about this for a while. But, oh, God. I haven't had that much pain in a long time. In a long time. All right. Hey, Butch, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
All right. Let's see here. I wish Carl did push me down the stairs. It would give me an excuse for not being clumsy. Hey, Life Dweller, how you doing, man? Jim Morris, good to see you. Butch, you don't eat breakfast for dinner, do you?
Sometimes.
Oh, come on. Come on, Butch. You're better than that. You're better than that.
Sometimes. It depends. About the new Italian restaurant day before yesterday. Outstanding.
What kind of food were you eating?
Stromboli, pizza. Yeah. Chicken wings. Good stuff.
Oh.
Italian chicken wings. That's different.
Italian chicken wings.
Yeah. First of all, they're breaded, which is not, normal for chicken wings as far as I know.
Right.
And then there's a sauce and, cheese. Very good. Very tasty.
I'm going to try them.
Yeah, very good.
That sounds good. I had chili the last couple of nights, and I filled it with some of my hottest hot sauce, and I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Don't have any stomach rot, which is nice. My lungs feel good because I cleaned them out from the hot sauce. One sec here. Jenny, yes, I will be contacting my chiropractor tomorrow. See if they could sneak me in. David Stringfellow, I am not going to have to cut off my hair because UFO Jesus is too chicken to take me up on that bet because he knows I would win and he would have to get sawed off into a mullet. That's right. I would win that. Let's see. Bart says, the guy with the bum ticker is out eating at restaurants? That's
gotta break it up every now and then. I do all the cooking around here.
No kidding. All right, here comes second half hour, guys. second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for tuning us in on our 6th anniversary show. Yes, there's no place that I would rather be. Well, maybe in a hot tub right now, but that's so far away, I can't even think about that right now. All right, if you miss portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we are talking with Butch Witkowski at Strange Days, Butch's website, UFOcop.com. He comes on at the end of each month to kind of give us a strange and weird and the lowdown of everything paranormal and supernatural. Butch, welcome back.
Yes, sir. Good to be back.
Now, right before the break, we were talking about black triangles. Do you think they're ours? Do you think they're theirs? Do you think they're from the future, from the past? What do you think?
Well, there's a long history of them. I mean, the Belgium photograph that was taken in Belgium was probably the best photograph ever taken. Definitely wasn't theirs, definitely wasn't ours. We do have triangle-shaped drones, but they're nothing in size like the ones that people are seeing. I mean, these things are blocking out the sky, and they're totally silent. They can stop in midair, do any type of maneuver they need to do. They can shoot off at high speed. So, I mean, we don't have anything like that. I truly don't believe that we have anything like that. I mean, even the drones that we have, now they're jet powered, but even they can't sustain those kind of speeds, nor can they stop in midair. So I'm anxious to see the photograph of this thing coming out of the sea. But undersea UFOs, they've been around for a long, long time. There's many, many reports on those things, especially along the shorelines like, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, all along the coast, South North Carolina. I mean, they're all over the place. One of the biggest places on the earth for these craft coming out of the ocean is Spain. So, I mean, their sightings are up tremendously on USOs. So, I guess I'm saying that, yeah, I think they are our space brethren. I don't think they're ours. But there's a lot of stuff up there that is ours that, you can pretty much tell it belongs to us. But then again, there's stuff up there that people say, oh, that's ours. And I'm going like, hey, no way, Clyde, no way. Nothing goes that fast and stops and makes a right-hand turn and shoots straight up into the stars. That ain't going to happen.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because how do we tell what is ours and what may be theirs?
Well, when you're having a sighting and you're watching an orb or disc or whatever you're watching, and you watch it go from horizon to horizon in a matter of seconds, not minutes, seconds, or it changes color, or it splits into more than one, or it shoots straight up into the stars. You can watch it disappear into the stars. I mean, we don't have anything like that. I mean, now people make a lot of mistakes they'll see a line of lights at night, and, I think they're getting better at it now because they realize how many satellites are up there. So when you're looking at slow walkers, you can see a line of 10, 12, 14 of them, evenly spaced apart, moving, the earth moves, so they look like they're moving. Of course they are. But it's the ones that, you see come out of nowhere and shoot across the sky, zigzagging or making some stupid maneuver, dropping down, going straight up. I was watching one with a state trooper one night, and we were watching it, and it was moving fast, and it started to slow down, and it kind of dropped like into a U, and then came back up again, and shot straight up. And I'm standing there with my mouth open catching flies, and he's going like, "Yeah, I see them all the time." I'm going like, "Oh boy." So, I mean, there's so much stuff in the sky, but you know, with this COVID stuff and the cold weather and the rain, we got rained on today like 40 days and 40 nights type deal, and so you know, the star watches are slim. People aren't bothering with conferences anymore, not because of the COVID. They're just not bothering with them anymore because the prices are outrageous. It's the same old people talking about the same old reports all the time. But there's so many new reports coming out. And I like to follow up on reports that, you know, don't make any sense, like the lady killed down there in North Carolina we don't even know what killed her. They don't even know what killed her. But she got herself shredded. So there, you know, there's enough of those reports out there that even if you don't have anything going on, you can go background research or, you know, do some mapping and stuff like that. Canada, their UFO sightings are up a lot. They're up like 30%. I don't do like a weekly thing with Canada. It's more like a monthly thing. I do look up their reports, but I mean, they're seeing triangles. They're seeing a lot of orbs. Some of the orb sightings up in Canada around Quebec are multi-craft, like 6 or 8 at the same time. There's a couple reports near Saskatchewan where you have a very large orb that starts emitting smaller orbs, and then, you know, they're kind of like buzzing around, and the other one, big one's moving, and then they all go back to the big one, and then the big one just vanishes, just disappears. So we don't have anything like that. So just our space brethren, you know, looking down and going like, they don't want to stop here because we're so screwed up, they don't even want to get involved.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the sightings are happening, and I can understand a lack of Bigfoot or a lack of dogman or bipedal canines, but with people now checking it out and, you know, looking into, you know, staying at home more, they're going to go outside. They're going to be having those barbecues. They're going to be, you know, checking out the stars at night, something that they took for granted beforehand. So it doesn't surprise me that we are seeing more UFO sightings and of strange lights, whether it's what you said was in Saskatchewan, which I'm surprised the rest of the North America didn't see because it's so flat up there. But nonetheless, you know, are we seeing different types of craft outside of the black triangles or just orbs of light?
No, there's the discs, rectangles, flat box-like shapes, saucers type, elongated long tubes, the triangles, of course, orbs that are connected. Now, I have to explain that a little bit. There's 2 reports. I think one is out of Arizona. I believe the other one is out of Montana. Again, one was taken with a cell phone, so you can barely make out what it is. And then, of course, the guy enhanced it as much as he could, so that screwed the whole picture up. But anyway, it's an orb, and then it looks like there's a larger orb attached to it, but it kind of narrows down in the front. Kind of like the front of an aircraft where you have, you know, the nose kind of comes down. And this thing was traveling like super speed over a set of mountains. And the guy got it on the cell phone video, but then he enhanced it, you know, blew it up and all that stuff. And he didn't save the original.
Of course not.
So,
of course not.
Yeah, so that kind of screwed that. But it's there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the paranormal. There's a lot of stuff going on in ufology. There's a lot of stuff going on in the cryptid area. I know there's a report now that's being worked on, and I believe it's Scotland. Pretty sure it's Scotland. I didn't get the report yet. It's coming in the mail to me because there's photographs of a creature that was seen entering and exiting a very, very old, dilapidated castle that sits out in the middle of nowhere. It's probably a stronghold for one of the higher ups back in those days, and abandoned many, 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 many hundreds of years ago. But the guy says that if you look carefully at the one photograph he's sending, to the right of the one wall, which is pretty much collapsed except for one corner, he said you can see what looks like some type of a craft protruding out on the ground. So I'm anxious to see that. But the reports keep coming in. I mean, it's not like they're not coming in. It's not like everybody went to bed. A lot of neat stuff going on, not just in this country, but in other countries. There's a human mutilation case I know that's being worked on right now, and that's down in right outside of San Juan, Puerto Rico. So we'll see where that goes. It's a lot of neat stuff going on. You know, it keeps me busy. It's not like I'm not busy, but I really would like to get out on the scene of some of these things. You know, and I'm really anxious to try this environmental DNA. To see, you know, how that works. The underwater camera I can't use until spring, because a lot of stuff here is starting to freeze up now.
Yeah, how is the winter going to affect this investigation? You combine the winter with COVID. I mean, how are you looking at things?
Well, I'm using more of the investigators that are close to the scene, that they don't have to travel so far. And if I can only get them over there to, you know, check for prints, photographs, get some photographs, get a good location. It's amazing to me how people will go, like you've described to me many times, your gifting site. And I'm pretty sure if I spent the time, I could, with a little bit of information, I could find it on a map. But people, you know, it's like, when you ask them where the sighting was, they say, well, you get down this old road, and at the big pine tree, you make a right. Well, how many pine trees do you think there are in Pennsylvania? So, you know, it's having somebody on the scene to get the proper location, check out the area, see if there's anything strange out there. You know, is there a waterway? Can we get some environmental DNA? Can we get some decent photographs? Are there any abandoned buildings around? You know, all the kind of caves, all the kind of stuff you would normally look for. And then also to look for the stuff that shouldn't be there. And I keep stressing that to investigators, and I probably will until I croak. Don't just go out and look for something that you think is there. Look for stuff that shouldn't be there. That's what you're going to find.
Okay,
that's when you know.
So when you say shouldn't be there, give us an example.
Let's say you're in one of the old abandoned railroad stations that cover this whole state. They're all over the place. And you get down into the basement or go up onto the second floor, and you find a nesting area. Stuff that shouldn't be there would be, you know, twigs, leaves, like something brought that stuff up the steps. So what would carry stuff up steps to make a bed? Yeah, it could be somebody that's homeless or, you know, just running the tracks. But then there would be other signs that you would look for if it was human inhabitation, you know, cans, food, cigarette butts, all that kind of stuff. There's just, you know, I said to a guy one time he said the only thing he ever found on his hike, on his one venture out for Bigfoot, was a bird's nest. And I said to him, well, you did take it, right? He went, no, why would I take a bird's nest? And I said, what is a bird's nest made out of? All kind of stuff. I said, yeah, like hair? Huh? Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's, you know, there's all kind of neat little things you can do out there. If you have a place where you have, say, multiple sightings of somebody saying, well, you know, there's somebody going in and out of that building, that old building. Okay, get yourself some brown flour. Don't want to get white flour, get brown flour. And just spread that all over the floor at the entrance and in different places under the windows and stuff like that, and let it go for a week and go back and check, see if there's any footprints there. And there's a lot of things you can do. But
okay,
I don't know.
When witnesses have multiple sightings of multiple different craft, how do you take situations like that for the investigation?
Well, I mean, I take all investigations as fact until I can prove otherwise. You know, some people are very knowledgeable of what they're looking at in the sky. I mean, they see something and they describe it very well. They got an idea of height because they either watch airplanes or they live close to an airport, so they know the difference between 10,000 and 30,000 feet. Characteristics of the flight characteristics, what it did it stop, did it go, did it make unusual turns, did it zigzag? Most of them zigzag. I don't know why, but most of them do. Triangles don't do that. They're straight on. They'll give a good description. You know, did it enter a cloud bank and then come out of the cloud bank, or did it enter a cloud bank and disappear, or did it come out of the cloud bank to begin with? So, I mean, there are a lot of people out there that really can give you a lot of good information. You just got to ask them the right questions. But you got to treat them all like they're fact. I mean, this is what they said they saw. You know, I always say you can't call everybody a liar. So you just take that information and you run with it. So when it gets to that point where let's just say they send you a really good photograph, and okay, now, you know, background research, that area, past reports, go back as far as you can. I've gone back into the 30s and 20s, looked at, you know, for certain areas. And you just got to cover all the bases with this stuff, even when it kind of sounds dumb, you know, like, why would you do that? Do it anyway. I mean, we've gotten some really good stuff by doing stuff like that. And then, of course, you get the hoaxers, but they're pretty easy to pick out, you know. They're usually the guy that after he tells you his sighting says that he's been researching and chasing Bigfoot for 35 years. You know that's crap.
How do you know it's crap, man? It always surprises me sometimes how blunt you are.
Well, you know, I've been doing this over 30 years. I've heard pretty much every story in every direction you can want to take one. I've met some really great people. I've met some really smart people. I've met some really researcher intelligence types, some really, really good people that, you know, they don't do it like we do it. I mean, they have a thing to look at. You know, it's just like, you know, after a while, you know, after the first 5 minutes on the phone with somebody describing what they saw, which is okay, but then when they start saying, well, you know, I've been researching, I'm one of the biggest researchers in my area. I've been researching Bigfoot for 35, 40 years. Oh, and they just go on and on and on. And, you know, right then and there, you're pretty much just wasting time. But you just got to be nice about it. Take the information, say, look, you know, if we see anything, we find anything, or anything pops up, we'll get back to you. And if it is something, and we do find something on a report, I will always get back to that person. You know, I'll send them an email, say what's a good time to call you, I got some information, or I may send them a map, or I may send them a photograph of something that they described. Did it look like this, or, you know, was it bigger, smaller? Can you change it? And, you know, you're only going to get as good as you give in research and investigations. I mean, if you're going to go out there and, you know, just plow through it and kind of make the person or persons feel uneasy, or come across like you don't believe them, or, you know, they're full of crap, whether they are or not, that's not what you're there for. You're there to investigate what happened. You know, I got a guy right now, he's right up your alley with gifting. I mean, he's been doing it now for about 2 years in a certain area. It's about a 2-acre plot that he's working at. And he's having some success, and he's very fastidious about it. You know, he takes the photographs, he writes down the distance of where he put this and where he put that. And he puts down little markers that, you know, to make his measurements. I mean, he's really being diligent about it. So, you know, when I get something from him, you know, it's enjoyable to read something like that. And he is having some success. So we will see. and I'll be happy if he does see something. And he's got a very good camera. He's not a cell phone. He's got a very good camera. So we'll see what he gets.
Butch Witkowski's Strange Days happens near the end of each month here on Spaced Out Radio. We got 3 minutes before we have to go to break at the top of the hour. Butch, when it comes to people looking in the sky, seeing some strange craft up there, you mentioned a little bit earlier about what to look for to try and see if it is ours or theirs. With today, we don't know today's hypersonic technology. We don't know what's at Wright-Patterson. We don't know what's at Area 51 or places of that ilk and nature. So how are we supposed to know if all of a sudden a craft crawls up on us and is completely silent that it isn't ours? Because we don't know the technology we have today.
No, but one of the things, all the stuff that we put up is not silent. Even when they talk about black helicopters being silent, they are not silent. You can hear one of those. You'll hear the wind shifting through the rotors. You have one of those drones. That's a jet engine. You're going to hear that. I mean, they're muffled to a point, but they're just like anything else. If it's an engine, it's mechanical. It's making noise. I mean, when somebody describes something to me that's overhead and it's totally silent, they hear nothing. There is no noise whatsoever. We don't have anything like that. Mm-mm.
What do you think they're basing these?
What that?
If they are the ones that are human, where do you think they're being based? Where are they coming out of?
Oh God, I have no idea. There's so many ideas out there. Beta Reticuli, the other side of the moon, Saturn, Mars. Everybody's got a theory, but you got to remember they got to prove that theory. Talk's cheap. I mean, you and I could do a whole show on what we think Bigfoot is hiding. Doesn't mean he's there. Might be an interesting show, but we don't have any proof that the guy lives there.
Very true.
I'll tell you one thing we have not gotten. I know there's a couple reports out there, but we've not gotten any. And other researchers I checked with all over the country is a family setting of Bigfoot. Like a mama, papa, baby, whatever, youngster. Except for your area. There's one report, I'd have to dig it up, it's probably about 2 years old by now, where a gentleman was tracking up by the big lake there, and he is following prints, but to the right of the prints, the large prints, in moss, is a set of smaller prints.
Wow. Butch, hold that thought. Hold that thought, okay, because we're going to go to break at the top of the hour, and I want to talk some Bigfoot with you as well coming out of it, because I heard some allegations about the BFRO, or the Bigfoot Research Organization, that I didn't find too impressive. And I want to get your thoughts on those as Butch Witkowski's Strange Days continues here on Spaced Out Radio. Butch's website, uforcop.com. Highly suggest you check it on out. Let's do this. Hour 2 of the 6th anniversary Spaced Out Radio show continues right after this. Butch, I'm just going to go for a little walk here, stretch things out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What to do?
Why not get bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and we have some cool swag for you to pick up. All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Tribe and Tribe Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little different. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Tribe Charities, just go to tribecharities.org/donate.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock.
All right, Butch, I'm back.
Okay, boss.
Oh. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. That's
Wait till tomorrow morning.
Oh, tomorrow morning is going to be hell. Tomorrow morning is going to be absolute hell. You know, but I'm pretty used to it. Oh, goodness. I am, Here we go. The beard did grow a little bit. Yes, Greco. Thank you for noticing. Opa, by the way. And, yes. Excuse me. We got about just over 90 seconds here, Butch.
Okay.
Let's go here. And, yeah, this next part, we're going to get fired up, man. Hi, Project Blue Book. Good to have you here. Thank you for coming on in. I apologize, everyone, if I'm not smiling too much tonight. For those who are just coming in, I wiped out on my stairway, taking some recyclables to my recycling bin outside. I slipped on the ice, and I just, my entire side is sore. My forearm is sore, and I'm not doing too well right now. I'm on pain meds. Probably should have went to the hospital instead of doing this show, But we got a show to do, and that's more important than a little bit of pain. That's the way we do things. Troy SR71 wants to know, Butch, are you an In-N-Out burger guy or a Five Guys burger place?
Five Guys.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's an expensive burger, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the free peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Eve, I'm not sure if I broke something or not, to be honest. I really don't know. I may have. Probably not. But the show must go on. We got to do a show. Here's hour 2, everyone.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. Really do appreciate you all tuning on in. We welcome in all of our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the Spaced Out Radio SOR Space Travelers Club. Grandival. Grandival is your password. Thank you, Clam, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight, we are talking with Butch Witkowski at Strange Days. Butch is a former police officer who now spends his retirement unretired because he's searching for monsters, tripping on legends, and doing whatever he can to prove the impossible. Butch's website, UFOcop.com. Welcome back, Butch.
Yes, sir. I think we need to finish the story for Kat.
Yes, please do.
Kat, well, what happened was the gentleman who's not a Bigfoot researcher, but his father is, and his father is in his, I think, early 60s, and he and a friend of his were up fishing on the lake, at a lake, and they had some rocks thrown at them, and they saw a Bigfoot type creature at the edge of the lake, and until they got the boat turned around and beat it out of there, they stopped to turn around. It was gone by that point. He told this story to his son, so his son went out with another guy, and in the general area of where his father was fishing, but it very mountainous alongside the a lot of trees and stuff alongside that lake, that large lake, and he came upon these large tracks, and now they're in the moss, because as he said, the ground is just covered with moss, and aside of that were smaller prints, kind of like, well, he described them like childlike. So he took casts, he sent those casts to Jeff Meldrum, and Dr. Meldrum said, one was definitely an adult because of the size, and the other one he figured was probably much younger, wasn't a female because the weight wasn't there. He could tell by the compression made in the cast. And so the last time I heard, he was going to put the whole thing on YouTube, and he was going to put it out after he made his second trip, which I believe is going to be in May or June of this coming year. So I'm anxious to see where that goes, because, usually there's never two sets of prints. There's always just, one print or one set of print. But he said that moss, he said, once you just step your foot down in the moss, you got a perfect print. So he got two really good prints that he sent to Meldrum, and but, even though there's a lot of stories of Bigfoot and families and stuff, they've never been recorded. But then again, Bigfoot's never been recorded either. So I'm anxious to see the size of the prints, because everybody goes out. You know, we all look for big prints. Nobody's ever looking for anything small. So that's maybe something we've got to start doing, I guess.
Butch, last week I had a great gentleman on named Carter Bouchard, who's a member of the BFRO. He's also a member of MUFON. And he brought up some very startling points on this show, basically alleging that the BFRO is canceling a lot of the reports due to what they call the woo factor, which means that if there is a Sasquatch sighting that all of a sudden has a UFO trailing it, or something paranormal happen, or the creature disappears, they're refusing to include that in the report. It's either being edited, or they don't file or accept or put the report online at all after that. You know, what is your thoughts on this allegation, and have you heard this before?
Never heard it before, but if that's a fact, that sucks. I mean, one of the things that I've always had in the back of my head, and you and I discussed this before, where I believe that all this stuff is combined. It's all part of the paranormal. And I've had paranormal folks out on investigations where I told them, you know, you got all these people out there, get somebody outside, stationed outside to watch the sky. Because I you know, whether there's a connection there or not, if there's something going on in the house at a certain period of time and there's something high in the sky that's either stationary or zipping back and forth, you know, that all has to play into your investigation and your report. But if they're purposely not reporting stuff like that, I mean, that's just not right. I mean, I understand it's a show, and, you know, and they've been wrong on quite a number of things, but that makes me crazy that they would have that type of information and wouldn't share that information. The more information we get out to the researchers and the non-researchers and investigators, the more chance we have of getting better information. And you know, eventually it'll all come together one way or another. But to have somebody out there blacking out a report, you know, that's not good.
I want to read you something.
That'll wind you up.
I want to read you something. Okay. This is from their mission statement. The overall mission of the BFRO is multifaceted, but the organization essentially seeks to resolve the mystery surrounding the Bigfoot phenomenon, that is, to derive conclusive documentation of the species' existence. This goal is pursued through the proactive collection of empirical data and physical evidence from the field, and by means of activities designed to promote an awareness and understanding of the nature and origin of the evidence. These large apes are spotted mostly in forested regions with abundant protein sources. Deer in particular, they consistently maintain low population levels in those areas, even where the protein sources could support dramatically large numbers of them. Consequently, they have never become an ongoing nuisance to human communities or to human livestock. Unlike gorillas and chimps, their family groupings are small and mobile, making it very difficult for modern humans to hurt them. Their impact on the land is so subtle that it takes a trained eye to even notice. I mean, this is one of the statements, I mean, claiming that it is an ape here in North America without any proof. I find that a little disturbing, because they're basing conclusions on not what the evidence says, but what they want to believe.
Yeah, that whole statement is just wrong. How do they explain many reports where there's been a head-on confrontation? And I don't mean confrontation in a bad way. I mean just somebody had a very, very clear visual look at what they were seeing, and they describe it as having more of a human face. Apes don't have a human face. I mean, the great apes, the silverback gorillas and stuff like that, I mean, They're not that tall. They weigh a lot, but they're not that tall. And yeah, they walk upright bipedally, but not for a long distance. They don't look anything like. We haven't, even Gigantopithecus. No ape has ever looked like a Bigfoot. And you know, the descriptions of Bigfoot from the indigenous way back up until now, it hasn't changed. I mean, the height, the weight, the shoulders, the head, the look. I mean, everything. I don't know. Some of these groups kind of make me crazy. You know, if you don't have an open mind about this, and you just start throwing out all that nonsense about groups and Bigfoot being describing Bigfoot as an ape, that is just crazy. I mean, that makes no sense to me. And not only that, in all the time that I'm familiar with their show a little bit and their group, they've never captured anything on film or otherwise. Not that I can ever remember. I mean, you know, you got the one guy running around the woods throwing out bacon and donuts, but I think that's pretty much about as far as his investigation talents went.
Okay, I'm going to read something else to you. This is, what are the undisputed facts about the Bigfoot Sasquatch mystery? It is a fact that for more than 400 years, people have reported seeing large, hair-covered, man-like animals in the wilderness areas of North America. It is a fact that sightings of these animals continue today. Real or not, these reports are often made by people of unimpeachable character. It is a fact that for over 70 years, people have been finding, photographing, and casting sets of very large human-shaped tracks. Most are discovered by chance in remote areas. These tracks continue to be found to this day. It is a fact that the cultural histories of many Native American and First Nation peoples include stories and beliefs about non-human peoples of the wild. Many of these descriptions bear a striking resemblance to the hairy man-like creatures reported today. These are some of the facts. There is, however, much disagreement as to what these facts mean. To many, these facts taken together suggest the presence of an animal, probably a primate, that exists today in very low population densities. If this is true, this species, having likely evolved alongside humans, became astonishingly adept at avoiding human contact through a process of natural selection. To others, these same facts point to a cultural phenomena kept alive today through a combination of misidentification of known animals, wishful thinking, and the deliberate fabrication of evidence. Now, that tells me that they're basically taking the First Nations side of the stories of the wild man and saying it's wishful thinking, they got it all wrong, it's a fabrication of stories, and we're not buying it.
That's great. I guess that's why I don't watch the program. Look, there's something out there. We know that. You know that. I know that. Every researcher and investigator worth his salt knows that. The object is to, I guess for a better way of saying it, is to outsmart them to get a photograph or to capture them in a camera trap or something like that. Look, it's television, and when people talk like they are, look, the indigenous know more about the paranormal than most of us that have been doing this for a long time do. They know more about the skinwalkers. They know more about the forest man. They know more about pretty much everything, the thunderbirds and so on. So when I hear investigators talk that way and kind of, I'm not saying they're trashing the indigenous, but they're kind of just crazy. It just makes me crazy because, look, there's stuff in the sky we can't explain. There's stuff in the woods we can't explain. They find something every day all around this world. There's places that we haven't even begun to put a human being in the area of. I mean, I'm sure there's places in Canada there where no white man has ever stepped foot. So to hear these guys talk about, they're not buying it. Well, you're getting paid to go out there and do it. And, I find a lot wrong with their types of investigation and how they handle it. But there's a couple out there that are very good at what they do. I mean, look at how long they've been looking for the Yeti. Look at how long they've been looking, for the Russian Bigfoot. I mean, there's just so much out there. And to say that you have a group that's got those kind of answers, you'd have to have 1,000 people, not 4 or 5. I mean, yeah, we can sit here and discuss Bigfoot till the cows come home. We can discuss UFOs till the cows come home. And the paranormal, well, that's another story in my book. But there are so many things out there that we just do not know, even though the stories, like the bipedals, they don't change. The stories are the same. The description is the same. The actions are the same. Same thing with Bigfoot. The descriptions are the same. The actions are the same. Where they live is the same. The bipedals live in the same. I mean, there are so many things on the ground. I can't cover 65,000 square miles of ground in our research area. That's impossible. There's no way I could do that. So what I have to do is go by where the last sighting was and, stay on that track, see if it goes anywhere, see if I can make connections to other areas. That's one of the big reasons, the very big reasons why we have all the equipment that we do, because we don't know what's going to catch them, if we're ever going to catch anything.
Right.
And the best I can do is have something caught on thermal imaging. I doubt very much if we roll in and a bipedal or Bigfoot's going to step out of the trees and pose for us. So it's we got to be kind of sneaky about it, and just try to get them camera trapped. But it's just like the last show I saw there's where they were going to use a drone, and we have a drone. I think we used it once, and the only thing you see with a drone when you're looking down is nothing, trees.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so my question to you then regarding the BFRO and their alleged practices of censoring reports because of the woo factor, what does this mean to the community? What does this mean to the people who are filing these reports on good faith?
Well, I mean, you're always going to have disbelievers or somebody that thinks they can do it better, or they have all the answers. But unfortunately, I've never bumped into one of those out in the woods. Look, if we would have had something, or if we would have captured something on all the hours that we've spent out in the woods, it'd be all over the internet. I'd plaster it everywhere. But you got groups out there, they'll go out and they'll do an investigation. They don't share anything. I'll share whatever we got. I don't care. I won't get people's names and addresses, but whatever we got, I'll put out there. I mean, with the bipedals, we've published all those reports, all 69 of them. They're all out there. You can read every one of them. But it's just, we just have to do our due diligence and go out there and do what we got to do. I would love to come up in your area with a couple of guys to see how that goes. Because, there's a lot of action in Canada, a lot. And you would think that there'd be so many more researchers and investigators in Canada, but there aren't really, whether it's UFOs or Bigfoot or anything else. Here we have these groups, they have their TV shows and stuff like that. And I've met some of these guys, and they're nice guys. There's nothing wrong with them. I mean, they're not jerks or anything like that. But, you know, they got a director and they got sponsors and they got people that tell them, well, we can't do that, but we can do this. Or we say this, it makes it more interesting. And you know, wackos go off the deep end. I remember the group from, what was it, West Virginia. The guys were out there hunting Bigfoot, shooting at everything, carrying on, making cages and stuff. So I met those guys. They're good, you know, good guys. But it's like the one guy said, hey, it's a TV show, buddy. That's exactly what he told me. So it is what it is.
Okay, but I'm more concerned for the people, Butch. That's where I get concerned, because we have good people who listen to this show. And I know I have to call and I have to reach out to the BFRO to find out if this is true, because this is a heavy allegation. But if it is true that they are censoring reports, I mean, to me, that's a real letdown. You know firsthand from being formerly a MUFON what was happening when that was happening in MUFON, and the investigators were crying foul.
Yeah. And look, there's a lot of investigators out here in the field that are crying foul all the time. Like I said earlier in the show, we've been fortunate to get a hold of 3 Rangers that are willing to work with us, and that's just great. But few and far between.
Okay, so if those reports, as we got about 2 minutes here, if those reports are being thrown to the side, cast aside, according to Carter Bouchard, okay, I mean, that's hundreds of reports over the years, and people are donating money to this.
Yeah. We, from the very beginning, when we started U4COP, we never took a dime. We don't take donations. I don't ever want that hung around our neck that, you know, we're doing something for money. I just think that, you know, these guys will come to their end, and, you know, they'll get called out eventually, and, you know, I'm interested to see what they're going to say when you question them, if they even go through with that. But I don't know. There's so many things going on in the Washington State, Oregon, in Colorado and Montana, in eastern Canada and western Canada. I mean, there's just so many things going on, and there just aren't enough of us to cover all those. So we do the best we can, and if you know, if I can get somebody there that has nothing to do with us, I mean, but I know they're a good researcher or something like that, I'll pass all that information on to them and let them handle it. Just get back to me and let me know what you found. But you got to understand that a lot of these groups, they do not share anything with anybody, period. That's the way it is. It's the way it's always been, probably the way it's always going to be. We will share everything, anything we need to with somebody that's an investigator or researcher, and help them out as much as we can. I could sit here and charge people for looking at their photographs day in and day out. Never charged anybody a penny. Gone all over. We've left the house at 12 o'clock at night to go down and look at footprints in the snow in the mountains of West Virginia.
Hey, Butch, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Butch Witkowski's Strange Days continues on Spaced Out Radio right after this. Sorry, buddy.
That's right. Boy, if they did that, that really sucks.
Well, I'm going to find out, actually. I'm going to, over the next couple of days, I'm going to be sending an email over to BFRO to say, hey, I'm hearing claims of this happening, and I'd like to know if this is happening, and if they, I have a feeling they're not going to get back to me. I just have that feeling. You know?
You're probably right.
Mm-hmm. But we got to find out. We got to find out.
Yeah.
Hey, Super Quest, how you doing, man? Honestly, I'm fucking dying here. In a good way. Not in a bad way. I might have to pop some more meds here pretty quick. Oh, God. I am sore, man. I am so sore. Oh, man. I just continue to bite my teeth here. I tell you, I had a little bit of, I don't know what I did about a week and a half ago. But I woke up that one morning, I could barely walk. I'm getting old. And the right side of my foot was killing me, like all the muscles. I couldn't put any pressure on my right foot whatsoever. Go to my chiropractor, and I'll tell you, he worked my foot, man. By the time I left, like 20 minutes later, I could walk fine, and then like a day and a half later, my pain was gone. My foot's fine now. But I'll tell you, if he's going to hurt me. If I can get in there tomorrow, he's going to hurt me. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Are you there, Butch?
I'm here.
All right. I just felt like you were ignoring me, like, shut the frig up already.
No, I'm just waiting for you to call me tomorrow to tell me you can't get out of bed.
Oh, I know that's exactly what's going to happen. I totally know. I already called my boss today. True story. I called my boss, and I'm like, hey, boss, how you doing? He's like, good. What's up, man? And I'm like, I'm lying on the floor in my hallway right now. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I slipped on the ice and I did something to my back and I can't move. And he's like, oh, damn, man. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain right now, but this is comfortable. I said, the worst part about it was I had to go to the bathroom and, had to delay that. But my entire lower back to my front now hurts. It does. I'm not going to lie. Not trying to be a wimp here or anything, or looking for sympathy or anything like that, because I don't need it. If I, got to do the show anyways. Have to do the show. It's Butch Witkowski night and 60th anniversary night, so I have to be here. But I like I said earlier, I almost canceled. I almost did. But I figured, screw it. What's another hockey injury, even though it's not hockey? But it happened on ice, so, it's kind of technically the same, which means that, I'll just shake it off as per usual, and, tomorrow I'll feel the effects of me being 47 years old and probably not being able to get out of bed and whining and complaining and screaming and yelling, and hopefully I just don't shit myself overnight. That's all that matters.
Dave, 47 years old?
Yeah.
I got socks older than you are.
You probably do. You probably
I know I do.
Oh.
That's all right. I'm 73, so I'm still moving pretty good.
Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, I want to say a big thank you to Reverend Keith, Cable Guy Matt, Kyle Evans, Aussie Rob, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Fapster, Inzane, and Major Lee for the super chats tonight. Really enjoy the support. 178 people listening on YouTube right now. 92 thumbs up. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. If you don't, give us a thumbs down. And I wish they had a thumbs for sideways if you kind of were blasé about what we're doing. But big thank you. Don't forget you can shop at the facebook.com/the SOR Vault. That is where we have our brand new t-shirts. Here we go. past the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Dave Scott here. Thank you so much for joining us on our 6th anniversary show. Really do appreciate everybody tuning in on our terrestrial affiliates, on Twitter, on our YouTube chat room, our other chat rooms as well. Thanks, guys, for making this just a special, special night. Hey, I want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with Butch Witkowski's Strange Days. We're talking Bigfoot here. Butch's website, uforcop.com. Butch, welcome back.
Yes, sir. Interesting show.
Yeah, it usually is with you, and then you finally get sick of me, and then you go away after 2.5 hours, and you're good for another month. That's usually the way it is.
There's one thing I do want to say, though. We're not the BFRO, we're not the Bipedal Research Group or whatever the hell they're called now, but I just want your folks to know that if they need something, or if they're interested in something, or if they have a report, or if they have information that they'd like to check out or back check, or an area mapped or photographs to look at, or anything like that, they can contact me on U4Cop's website. Just go under terrestrial contacts, and you can fill out a little quick form there. I think it's 4 lines, and I'll get that email, and I'll get back to you either by however you want me to get back, by phone, or by email, or whatever. So I know a lot of groups, like I said, they don't share anything. They don't want people involved, but, look at it this way. If we do find something, if we do find conclusive proof, however we find it, it's not like I'm going to put it in a file and, throw 30 years of my time, money, and my life in a file drawer. I'm going to be all over the place with it, So rest assured, people will get what we get, whatever we find, good, bad, or indifferent. It's one of the reasons I stay away from groups. I just do. The only group I've been a member of for many years now is Lon Strickler's Phantoms and Monsters team, 40 and team. But other than that, the only thing we can do as researchers and investigators is whatever we find. I mean, if it's good, I mean, we can sit here and talk about all the stuff that we're doing, but I mean, if we find something like we got a good picture of Bigfoot, or we got a really good picture of a bipedal, or something paranormal, or something in the sky, or something coming out of the water, or we got a DNA sample that we can share with everybody, I'm going to share it. I'm not going to hold on to it. That doesn't make any sense to me. And it's just like, hey, if these guys want to do what they're doing, they can do what they're doing. But in the end, they're not going to gain anything from it, keeping it secret or bad-mouthing each other like they normally do. And that's one of the reasons why people just do not go to these conferences anymore. All they do is argue. Well, they won't share any information with us. They won't share. No, because you give all that information out. I mean, like I said, we don't give anybody's name, address, and phone number to anybody at all, ever. But these guys will do that. They'll send a report to somebody and say, you can publish this guy's name. I don't care. I don't live near him. Bad news, just bad news. And the BFRO did that. I'm just surprised to hear it. But if they did it, that's unconscionable.
It really is, especially when you're asking for donations.
Yeah.
Yeah, very uncool. Very uncool. I want to get to a question from my buddy Mikey, who is asking, Butch, have you ever handled any military members or veterans coming forth with any stories of Bigfoot during operations?
UFOs, yes. Bigfoot, no.
Can you share one or two of those with us?
Yeah, sure. The one gentleman was a master sergeant, tank unit in Iraq, and they were down for the night, so they get there, they like circle the wagons, and they circle the tanks, and everybody was just kind of standing around, eating, shooting the crap, smoking, whatever, and they saw this light in the distance, way off in the distance, and they figured it was a helicopter coming in. So nobody paid a whole lot of attention, but a very short period of time elapsed when one guy turned around and said, "That's got to be the fastest helicopter I ever saw, because it's just about on us." And this craft, which they described as circular, they didn't get a full view of it, just the bottom, stopped right above the circle of tanks. So you have, I think it was 6 tank crews, all saw the same thing and didn't do anything, no watches stopping or any wild thoughts going through their head or anything like that. And it just slowly just moved on, like checked them out and moved on. He reported that to the company commander, I think 2 days later, and he spoke at the big UFO Fest out in Lawrence, Kansas, where I was speaking also, and he was kind of just asked to come up and speak to the folks, and the guys that were handling it said, "Yeah, go ahead." And we were all interested to see what he said when he said he reported it to his commanding officer a couple days later. And he said, "If you ever mention anything like that to anybody other than your crew, which you will tell, I will not only have you court-martialed, I'll have you shot." Oh. That was the end of that story.
Wow, that's one way to get it kind of put to bed, eh?
Yeah. Now, during the Vietnam War, there were a lot of UFO sightings, and those reports are on the internet. The Iraq-Iran deal. I mean, there's been a lot of UFO sightings. But they are what they are. We don't know what they are. We don't know who's flying them. We don't know where they come from. I mean, there's a whole lot of we don't knows. But I always thought that what's going to happen when there is one, it's going to land in somebody's front yard. Either broke down with a flat tire or something, and the person's going to be smart enough to call the news people. Will be all over it like a cheap suit.
Butch Witkowski's Strange Days continues here on Spaced Out Radio. Butch, when a lot of these guys are on training in the in the military, whether here in North America, they're into some pretty lofty places, practicing warfare in the mountains, in the trenches, in the deep forests of Washington State, up here in British Columbia, you name it. Are they getting reports, or any of those type of reports getting out? I remember there was a couple of gentlemen on the West Coast, former Army guys who are now Bigfoot investigators, who had things happen like that.
Right, yeah. And the people that usually speak out like that are no longer in the military. I think, there's some really great stories coming out of that part of the country. But I know the two guys you're talking about, but they're not really out spreading a lot of their information right now for whatever reason. Some researchers just keep their stuff to themselves. And then there's other researchers, I can call them up right now and get any information I want. And then there's some that you call them up and they tell you to go take a plane, you know what I mean? But anyway, it is what it is. It'll always be what it is. But myself and my guys, we've always, from the very, very beginning, and all the groups that I do work with here in Pennsylvania, Bigfoot groups, they're all the same way. Look, if we find something, we're going to share it. We're not holding on to it. We're not going to stand by and wait till some movie company comes along and says, "Well, I want to make a movie about your life or your research or this, that, and the other thing. Give us all your information." That's not ever going to happen. I mean, I've been interviewed for videos and stuff like that, but that's an interview for videos talking about basically the same stuff I'm talking about on here. That's nothing. As far as, you know, I'm not giving up any information secretive or asking people to send in donations so I can keep the secret. That's just crazy. I don't believe it. It just makes me nuts.
But that's the community, though, correct?
Yes, that is.
So how do we? Yeah. How does that even get started to be changed? Is it even possible to change it?
No, that's not going to change. That's impossible. No, you'll have you'll see it more in the paranormal field, where a group will start up, and then another group will start up, and they may be friends in the beginning. Within 2 weeks, they're at each other's throats, and then this group breaks up and starts another group, and this breaks up and starts another group, and they start bad-mouthing each other all over Facebook and every place else. It's been like that forever, ever. And, you know, just because you went into a place that somebody told you was haunted does not make you a paranormal investigator. No more than me running around out in the woods looking for bipedal canine does not make me a cryptozoologist. So I think, you know, I will, you know, the people I rely on for information are definitely the indigenous in out west and here on the East Coast, and up in your area, and researchers that are really diligent in how and why and when they're doing it. And we have, you know, this environmental DNA, which I just keep bragging about because I can't wait to try it, is so neat because I can take samples, water samples of a creek near a place where we have a report of something, and I can send that in, and it'll tell me what was in that creek. I don't care if it was 6 months ago. It's going to tell me. And so there's unknown this or unknown that in that water, in that sample. I'm going to be jumping up and down like a 10-year-old that got a candy bar.
You know what I'd do for a candy bar right now?
I don't think I want to know.
There's a lot I would do for a candy bar, but I mean, it's no Taco Bell. It's no Taco Bell. But, oh, you know what upsets me about Taco Bell these days is up here in Canada, they're giving out a limited supply of what do they call them? You know, advent calendars. Taco Bell hot sauce advent calendars. I want this. I want this bad. But
okay,
what can you do? What can you do? And Corrins, the booking guy, is saying, what would you do, Dave, for a Klondike bar?
The only thing Taco Bell gives you here is, like, you know, the runs.
That's fine. You know, I mean, there's repercussions for everything. I mean, you have Taco Bell, you're literally just renting the meal. I mean, and I'm okay with that. Fact is, it's good going down, man. It's good going down. But Butch Witkowski is here. We're talking some Bigfoot. We're talking some Dogman. We're talking a little bit of everything tonight on Strange Days. It's our second to last episode of Strange Days here before the end of 2020 because Butch usually closes things out. Butch, continuing on with Bigfoot here, you know, I think we're dealing with a creature that is very, very intelligent. It is very adept of its surroundings. You know, we've discussed this creature back, forth, sideways, diagonally, up, down, backwards, forwards. What are we missing on this creature that the majority of the public just doesn't understand?
Oh, I agree. They're super intelligent. And, you know, when you look at the areas where they've been located, or not located, but seen or reported, I mean, half those places, it's like one of the indigenous here from Pennsylvania was talking to me one time about it. He says, there's places, he has some friends out in Montana, he says, like the Selway Wilderness area. He said, there has never, ever been a white man in that area, ever. He said, Indians don't even go into that area. It's just that big an expanse of canyons and trees and mountains. He said, there's no roads, there's no trails. I put it this way. Bigfoot got his act together. You know, the intelligence has got to be way up there. To go this many years, what, 50 plus years now they're looking?
Yeah, pretty much.
And they have nothing? I mean, the DNA that they said they had, well, that went down the drain. Photographs, they're, you know, are just shot. They're worthless. Even ones taken by professional photographers, they look for these things from blimps, thermal imaging devices, camera traps. I just think going out in the woods and looking for these things is just a waste. I mean, some people have had success with gifting. Okay, I understand that. And then you have the commercial end of it where, you know, you got guys out there with $100,000 blimps with night vision on that are computer controlled and mapping scans of a whole area like that. The one thing that, if you're going to do it from the sky, that, you know, I'm not buying the infrared like that, but if you're going to do it from the sky, use LiDAR, you know, where you can just photograph a whole area with LiDAR and then remove everything and see if are there walking paths there, are there places that look like an encampment, are there old buildings that are, you know, nobody ever knew were there. And there's a lot of those around, not only here in the East Coast, but they're all over the country. Mining camps that were caves. I mean, you know, Pennsylvania, what do we have, like 197 caves? And, you know, hey, we've had reports of strange lights flying out of caves out in western Pennsylvania, strange red lights. So, you know, nobody wants to go into those caves. We're going in. I mean, we're going to go in. Why not? You know, we take precautions, and, you know, but we've got permission to go on a few of them already. We just can't go because of this COVID thing. But I just think that they're a lot closer than people think. I just don't believe that you have one or two Bigfoot running all over Pennsylvania. I just can't get that through my head. There has to be more than one. And I'm not saying they travel in groups, because that's never been proven either. But they're here, you know, and I believe they're here, and they'll be here a long time after we're gone, probably.
Your socks will still be here at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Butch Witkowski, Strange Days. We got about 5 minutes here before we have to go to break at the top of the hour. Sticking with Bigfoot, I mean, considering this is a creature that is all over the place in North America, if we just focus on North America at this point in time, you know, one of the detractors that I have with organizations that call this creature an ape are some of these scenarios that people have reported where the tracks just stop. And, you know, some of these investigators say, well, Bigfoot is very adept at reversing its tracks. And when you ask, wouldn't that leave a double track? They have the nerve to say, well, not necessarily. I mean, do a lot of these people who don't believe in the potential of the woo factor with Bigfoot, is it naivety or the fear of actually realizing that there might be something more mysterious to it?
I think that's the point you hit right there, more mysterious to it. It's like there was a group of sightings in Pennsylvania, northern, closer to central Pennsylvania, but in northern end up toward the New York line. And some really, really good reports came out of there. And these weren't people that were researchers by any means. Two of the guys were hunters, and the other two guys were like hiking. and one was a family that was out camping. And they all described kind of the same size, color, and, you know, they got a hold of a Bigfoot group. I believe they weren't from Pennsylvania. I think they were from New York. And they preserved some footprints. You know, they covered them with a tarp, made sure they didn't get rained on. And these guys came down, and they took a couple pictures. And what do you think the guy did next? Took his foot and scrubbed it. Just wiped it away.
Why?
I'm like, yeah, why? The guy that called him and had him come down, he was flabbergasted. He just couldn't believe what happened. He just took his foot, after he took a couple pictures, took his foot and just rubbed it out. And I'm like, wow. I don't know.
That's a bad time to rub one out, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think when they are confronted with evidence, they either don't know what to do with it or it just scares them to death. Hey, look, if I come upon a bipedal canine, I'm not saying I'm not going to run, but I'm going to throw a ball and tell them to sit, throw them a tennis ball and run like hell. But that's pretty much about it.
No, I get that, and I appreciate that, you know. But so, as we got about, you know, just over 90 seconds left here before we go to break at the top of the hour, for people who are out there who are wanting to investigate this, how important is it for them to learn both sides of the ledger here? That you can't be sitting there calling them apes when you don't know what they are.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, they've many. I forget what are there. There's like 135 names for Bigfoot from all around the world. So one of the things is that people that want to go out and do this, they really need to educate themselves. You can go on the internet and you can copy and print out every footprint that's ever been found. Put them in a binder and carry it with you. We do. We have one in each truck. And the hoaxers are in there too. So, you know, if you do come upon one, open up your little book and check it out. If it is something, cast it. If it looks like identical to something that's a hoax, which is clearly marked a hoax, then you know somebody's playing games. And there are a lot of people out there playing games. They're looking for fortune and fame and a TV show and a radio show, and they're pretty much easy to spot. But, you know, and I can tell when somebody gets a hold of us to help them with a project or decipher a picture or tell them how to take a footprint or, you know, how to cast a print and stuff like that. You know, you can hear it in their voice. They really want to do it. They really want to go out. They really want to find out what it is. But there's a lot of dudes out there that don't. They're just out there for, like I said, fortune and glory.
Absolutely. Butch, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. We have 30 minutes left with Butch Witkowski and Strange Days. Where should we go from here? I don't know. I never script anything with Butch, and even if we do try and script things, it never works. We always go off topic. But we'll figure something out during the break. Spaced Out Radio's Hour 3 continues right after this. All right, bud, I'm just going to go for a stretch here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got to get some more tea.
All right.
Ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckard, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/spacedoutradio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night, where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightline Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website.
I'm back, Butch.
Okay.
All right. I'm back. We got 2 minutes. Ah. Hi, veteran Surf JAAR. Good to have you back, man. Good to have you back. Thank you. And thank you for your service, my friend. All right. 90 seconds, man. Well, Butch Stern, another good month here, man. Another solid month. We got like 40 seconds to figure out a topic here. But I guess that pretty much falls on my shoulders, doesn't it? I'll figure something out. Lots of time, plenty of time. Hey, World Bigfoot Radio, when are we talking some Bigfoot, man? Let me know. Let's do this thing. All right. I got a topic. I'm ready. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Jenny, Reverend Keith, Cable Guy Matt, Kyle, Ozzy Rob, Bigfoot Rob, Fapster, Zane, and Lee for the super chats tonight. Let's have some fun. Here we go.
If you'd like to connect with us, head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate each and every one of you tuning us in, especially those listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. What do we got here, Clam? Oh, yes, and I accidentally clicked the X. There it is. Grandival. Grandival is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce Butch Witkowski's and Strange Days. Butch comes on near the end of each month to hang on out and discuss the month that was in the weird, strange, the cryptid, the monstrous, the legends, and the folklore. His website, uforcop.com. If you want to check it on out, we highly suggest you do. Butch, thank you again for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime, buddy.
Well, we appreciate that. Much nicer than the first time I did your show, back in 2015. Much nicer, much nicer. Butch, I want to go back to that original show that we did, because for 5 years, my friend, I cannot get a certain number out of my head. And I know we've brought that up over time with you, maybe once, maybe twice a year, if that, okay? But it is in regards to these human mutilations that are allegedly going on. For people who may find this topic grotesque, it is. It very much is. So plug your ears if you have to. But what are these human mutilations?
Well, the most recent are in England. There's 2 investigations going on over there now. A lot in the very beginning when they first started popping up, a lot of them were in the Four Corners area of the United States. And then they just started popping up everywhere, Puerto Rico, Brazil. It's England, couple in Germany. I mean, it's almost like they went worldwide, but in the United States, just getting that kind of information is pretty much zero. But the ones that we do have, or that we gotten involved with, they were very good, good information. Everything was happening rightfully by the police departments giving us information, coroners, doctors, all that kind of stuff. But I keep track of the numbers. The numbers really haven't changed much. There's still a ton of people that are missing every year in the United States. No other state, no other countries actually track their missing persons. But here, The FBI has a missing persons file, and now they're always a year late. So in 2020, I would have been looking at 2019, late 2018. But you know, when you got 400,000 people that are missing that are never found. I mean, nothing. There's never anything found. No body, no information, nothing, zero. They're like they just vanish. Same thing out in Saudi Arabia and Egypt. There are a lot of reports out there of people that you know, that were seen just walking and just vanish. So what that's all about, I have never been able to figure that out. Only I just have that feeling that it's not of this earth what's happening to these people. I mean, some people are seen disappear within, you know, 100 yards or so by multiple witnesses, and they're gone, never to be seen. No sign of a struggle or anything like that. And, you know, with the 411 files with David Pallades, I mean, his stuff kind of centers on the public parks around the country. But even the information he tries to get is just, you know, he gets run around the track a lot. But, hey, he's out there looking, so that counts a lot. We have 39 missing cases here in Pennsylvania. Only 2 of them were actually found out of the 39. One was a hunter, had a bad heart, up in age, and probably died while he was deer hunting. And the other one was a gentleman way up in age. He was like in his 80s, and he went for a walk at his cabin, and they found him about 6 weeks later. He just fell over, ran out of steam, and that was the end of him. But I'm sure they're still happening. There's still people missing. You know, we have no idea why, what for. Cattle mutilations in the south are picking up again, in the west rather, southwest. So we have one researcher in Puerto Rico who is trying to figure out why the same organs are taken from these cattle. He thinks that has something to do with serotonin. Now, I don't know all what he's doing, but every now and then he sends me something that this is what he found, this is what he's looking for. I know it's been blamed on the military. That's a crock. The military's not involved in this. You know, I heard one researcher say, yeah, they're going in the helicopters and butchering them on up, and off they go. Well, we can't do the kind of butchering that these are being done. Not a human. Not even our best laser cutters, scalpels, can't do that. So, and what are they doing with all the blood? Where's the blood going? I mean, there's no blood under the animal, on the animal. Some viscous fluid, normally from removed eyes that are perfectly cut out like a cookie cutter. So, I mean, there's just so many things involved. And, you know, I've heard another researcher say, well, it's a blowflies eat them. Well, give me a break. Blowflies eating a 1,500, 2,000-pound cow overnight? I don't think so. But they're still happening. And these are part of the black side of ufology, you know, the cattle mutilations, the human mutilations, the missing people. And nobody really gets into it. I mean, they just don't. When I first started looking into the human mutilations, man, you would have thought I tried to shoot the president. And everybody was on me about that. But, hey, it is what it is, right? Tell it the way it is.
Okay.
And there was plenty of proof.
Well, what kind of proof was there?
Oh, there was photographs of the body at the scene. There was, many photographs, forensic photographs. The autopsy was made public. And everything was on the up and up. I mean, everything was out there. The one mutilation case in Egypt, I actually got a hold of the lawyer that was handling that case for the defendant, who, a whole family was mutilated, and just everything in that house was killed. Cats, dogs, chickens, whatever was in the house was dead. And they blamed it on a retarded fellow that lived about 1.5 miles away. And they actually were holding him on murder charges. Now, this guy couldn't even tie his shoes. And she finally got him off. And till this day, and that was years ago, until this day, he can't leave the house other than to go shopping with his family, accompanied by a police officer, or to the mosque to pray, accompanied by a family member and a police officer. Till this day.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to blame a severe handicap for something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, this stuff is being done surgically. I mean, we've talked to many veterinarians that said, "No way could I do that." I talked to surgeons, that said, "There's no way you could cut into something like that and not nick an artery or nick this or cut that." He said, "These are unexplainable."
You gave a statistic a number of years ago regarding that, and we still use it on this show to this day because it was just so profound to me, that 1.3 million Americans go missing every year.
That's correct.
And once the FBI and the local police stations whittle it down, it comes down to about 65,000 cases that are unresolved, unknown. And that includes people who run away, who are kidnapped, who are murdered, who are maybe in custody battles and changing names, so on and so forth. How does that get whittled down to 65,000 a year, Butch?
Well, when you look at that file, the file gives the person the ID, all that kind of stuff, and then it goes and location, and then it goes into was the body found, was any contact ever made? There's a whole bunch of questions that follows that, and it was. I'm going to pull up the last thing I have here for numbers, and it's the thing is, the numbers never change. I mean, from one year to the next, they just don't change. It's like that number of 5% just keep popping up. Don't even know when or where or how they're missing. It's crazy. The whole thing is just crazy. I wish I had a computer that really worked really well. But anyway,
I thought you had like 700 of them.
I'll have those numbers in a second here. These will be from 2018. These are the NCIC, National Crime Information Center. 800,160 missing persons reports were filed. 95% are found. 75% of that 95 are under 18 years of age. 20% are spousal abuse, murders, elderly ransom demands, etc. 5% are never found. That's 38,908. Since 1991, when these reports were first initiated, there have been 16,861,065 reports filed. Using that same math of 5% that are never found, 794,000 are never found. No trace of them is ever located. So when you look at over 17, 18, 19, 20 some years, you're looking at 45,000 600 a year.
All right. So just so people know, where are you getting these statistics from?
The National Crime Information Center, NCIC statistics, you can get it off the FBI site.
Okay, so these are legitimate numbers. These just aren't numbers that you're pulling out of talking to a couple people.
No. This is from the NCIC statistics page, which is the National Crime Information Center. Every year, every police department in the United States has to file with the NCIC statistics. They report how many murders they had, how many bicycles were stolen, how many cars were stolen, how many rapes they had, how many burglaries they had, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are then fed into the FBI, and the FBI keeps these numbers. And so all I did when I started doing this back in 2008 was I just went to the missing persons reports that were filed, and then, got all the information right there.
Did anybody go look at those numbers?
Sure.
Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense in regards to it. So, in your estimation, in the people whom you have talked to, both in the alphabet agencies as well as fellow investigators, for those who haven't been found, where they have vanished without a trace, where are they going? Do we know? Do we have any clues?
No clues, none whatsoever, because they're never found. I mean, there's no clothing found, or nobody said, they saw them this, they saw that, or, it's just like they're not talking. It's just like, I hate to say this, but it's like nobody cares. I mean, who has those kind of resources to go out hunting for 60,000 people a year? I mean, they're just gone. Now, granted, the highest number of missing people is in Alaska, but we all know what that is. I mean, that's people who lived in Brooklyn all their life, Brooklyn, New York, going into Alaska to live. They last about a week and a half before they run out of food, or they get eaten by something a lot larger than they are, or they get lost. I mean, that's common, but that's not accounting. What was their number last year was 16,000 missing in Alaska.
Well, Alaska is a screwed up place.
Yeah, and some of those bodies are found. Most are not. But look at the predators you have up there. I mean, these people that, lived in New York all their life and they moved to Alaska, that's like hanging out a shingle. A smorgasbord starts at 8 a.m.
Okay, so if there is no trace of these people who are going missing, never to be heard from again, I mean, how do we know that this is something more nefarious than just human interaction? What gives us that clue?
I don't think there is any clue. Well, the mutilated bodies that are found are a clue, but I just don't see a connection that can be made there. I mean, Dave Pallades has tried that. Now, he leans more toward, mountain predators, lions, bears, Bigfoot, and so on. But no, I just don't know. It's just strange that number stays so high, and it's like basically taken for granted. Like, okay, so they're missing, so okay, they'll be more missing next year, and I'm pretty sure that's the way it happens.
Right? Okay, so if a human takes someone, there's going to be something there. There's going to be DNA. There's going to be some sort of clue. Maybe a running shoe, maybe a wallet, a jacket, a T-shirt, something. There's nothing with these.
Nope, nothing. Zero. Nothing. Nope. Nothing's ever found. No bodies. No clothing.
You think it's aliens?
In some of the cases, yes, only because of the way they happen. I mean, I don't know if you say aliens with that, but there is a one case where there's a group of teenagers, not teenagers, but a group of young people at a country bar, and the bar closed up at 2 in the morning or something like that, and the one gentleman turns around to his folks and says, well, I'm going to go get the car in the parking lot. And there weren't that many cars in the parking lot. And they watched him walk into the parking lot. He didn't come back. They thought, oh, maybe he tripped and fell, hurt himself or something like that. They went over there. Keys were laying on the ground, and he was gone, never been seen since. No struggle, nothing. He's just gone.
Wow. Wow. Butch, I got a Bigfoot question from Greco, as we only got about 2.5 minutes here. Does somebody have any Bigfoot bodies, government, private companies, etc.?
Well, if it would be anybody, I would say it would be the government. I don't know of any private companies that have anything going out in the field. The government always has stuff going out in the field. So if there was one that was found, then the government got it, and that's as far as we'll ever find out.
All right. 2 minutes left, Butch, with you. And I want to say thank you again for coming on the air with us here. As we look towards our next show, which will be near the end of 2020, you know, when you look back on 2020, never mind all the BS that we dealt with, what are a couple of the highlights that have intrigued you about this year?
Oh, my. There's just so many. Just so many. I wouldn't even know where to start. I really wouldn't. I mean, there's been so many changes in my life in the last year and a half that not only with investigations and, you know, this, that, and the other thing, but, you know, health and stuff like that. It's just, I just take it like one day at a time, Dave. I mean, it's something new every day. I mean, it's never the same day twice.
Oh, I hear you.
And the highlights with the show, I mean, you know, like you said, I've been in the show, 5 years, and it's been fun. It'll continue to be fun as long as I'm breathing anyway, and you don't throw me off. I mean, your people are great. I mean, they're smart. So I'm ready.
Wonderful. Butch, tell everybody where they can file reports to you in case they see something weird and strange.
I put my email address in the chat, and they can go to UFO, UFORCOP.com on the webpage, and go down to terrestrial contacts, and just fill in the information how you want me to contact you. And I have a separate computer that keeps that going, so works good.
Awesome, buddy. We will talk to you next month, as we normally do, and we'll finish off the year with a year in review, my friend.
Great.
All right. Don't sound so excited next time. Appreciate that.
Take care, buddy.
Anytime.
Watch that leg.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. I will be hopefully getting to the chiropractor in the morning. Butch Witkowski and Strange Days once again. That's why he's one of our most popular guests on this show. We love him around here. The Butch will be back coming up next month. Next half hour, let's celebrate SOR, shall we? It's our 6-year anniversary. Great job, Butch.
I seen you grimacing when you were sitting in the chair.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm going upstairs after this. Once I get my editing done, I'm gonna pop some serious drugs and go to bed, man.
Well, you have fun, buddy. Stay out of trouble.
Hey, Butch, I appreciate you, and thank you for not only being on this show for the last 5 of the last 6 years, man, but for also being an awesome friend. I look to you as a as a mentor and somebody whom I could trust and just have any questions answered from you. You're one of the best out there, my friend. Thank you.
How many numbers did we hit tonight?
I saw it top out at like 175, 176.
Good.
Yeah. That's nice numbers. Good numbers.
Okay, boss.
All right, buddy. You take care, okay?
You too, man.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Butch Witkowski, everyone. Butch Witkowski. There he is. Notice how quickly he got off the phone. He's like, did it hit 181? Did it hit 181? Well, that's cool. Thanks for that, PBR. Appreciate that. And thank you for everybody. I mean, I know that after the guest, a lot of people, you know, they're like, well, the interview is over. Dave's just going to BS now with the news or something. But I just want to say thank you to everybody sticking around, man. Yeah, 6th anniversary. 6th anniversary. That's pretty damn cool. Pretty cool. 115 likes. That's nice. Record is 124. 124 on the likes, I believe. I had it written down at one point, and then I cleaned my office. Hey, there's Mr. Cowley. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. I'm sorry, I like that, Andy. I do. Look at the Hallmark there. Thanks, Butch and Dave. And we like that. Good old Hallmark there. Sitting with Nate Foot saying, shut the hell up, Dave. I can hear you now there, Hallmark. I can hear you now. Thanks, gorgeous Jessica McCreary. Oh, lovely lots. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. That joins lots, our beautiful lots here. Joins Jenny, Reverend Keith, Cable Guy Matt, Kyle, Aussie Rob, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Fapster, Inzane, and Lee on the super chats tonight. Really do appreciate that. Thank you. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, we only have 31 days to try and hit 10,000. And we're like 650 people away. I don't know. Let me get you an accurate number on that. Hold on. I want to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. I don't think that's too much to ask. I really don't. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm pushing too far. But I don't think it's too much. We're at 9,394 right now. 9,394 right now. And let's see here. I would love to get that number to 10,000 by the end of the year. I think it's completely possible. We only need, what is that? 606. That's all we need. 606. I think we can do it. I totally think we can do it. You know? Hey, Super Ron 13, what's going on? And this is what I'm going to do. The person who is our 10,000th subscriber, I'm going to give a Spaced Out Radio package to. And then to my loyalists in the chat room and on Twitter and in Spreaker, what I'm going to do is I am going to do a draw for one of you as well. All right? So I'm going to do two draws. One for our 10,000th listener, and then, or subscriber, pardon me. And then I'm going to do another draw so that way everyone else gets a shot at it too. Hey, Cashew. Hey, Barnabas Bites. Barnabas Bites. That's a good name. Good name. Good, solid name. Thank you so much. All right, guys. We have like 5 seconds here, so hold on here. Let's do some radio stuff. rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. I want to say thank you for tuning us on in. If you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Now, normally we go to the news at this time of the night, but I'm not doing that tonight. And there's a reason why, okay? If you're just tuning on in, this happens to be the 6th anniversary of starting this show. And I think there needs to be a little discussion on this because, well, it's my show, and I never really talk much about it. But when I left terrestrial radio in 2007, I signed off the air for the final time at my radio station at 10:47 p.m. And I remember I was surrounded by a bunch of friends in the newsroom, and I kind of broke down crying because that's what I had went to school for, and I knew that when I was leaving radio, at that point, I knew I was never coming back. I just wasn't. I was done. I was tired of getting paid an extremely small pittance. I was tired of seeing employees, such as my friends and myself, who had been there a number of years, getting paid less than students right out of college because the hiring salaries had changed, but they just didn't bump the rest of us up. No, you can't do that. Can't do that. I knew that I had covered almost everything that I wanted to do in sports. Weird, though. I never got to an NFL game. Covered racing, hockey, grinded my teeth and nearly, I fell asleep a number of times covering soccer in the press box. Didn't like that. Loved covering baseball from minor league to major league. Got to play some of the most beautiful golf courses in the British Columbia because that was some of the pull that you had with the media. And when I left radio in 2007, I never knew I was coming back until my own experiences started. And even then, it took a lot of prodding. And a good friend, Johnny Enoch, he really, held the cattle prod to me and said, dude, you got to do this. You got to do this. And I'm like, no, man, I have no intention of doing it. And when I started this show, like 6 weeks previous, I had never heard of online radio. When I left radio, I walked away. I didn't know what podcasting was, didn't know how to download a podcast, didn't know how to, didn't know there was all of these online digital formats. I didn't know anything. I was so naive to it all. So naive. So when we launched on our first night, it was an incredible buzz. I was nervous. We were on Blog Talk Radio, which is just a cheap form of digital radio. It was horrible. The audio there was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But we did it. And when I looked at this show, I never really thought about what we would do online. See, up here in Canada where I am, we didn't know of these great broadcasters out there. All right, we knew Art Bell, we knew George Norrie, the odd time we heard the name George Knapp. Didn't know who Dave Schrader was, didn't know who Connie Willis was, didn't know who John B. Wells was, didn't know who Jimmy Church was, didn't know that Art Bell was coming back, then retiring, then coming back, and then retiring, then coming back, then retiring. Didn't know. And there's so much talent out there right now. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's competitive, and it's great. But we had a lot of really cool experiences. And there's been a lot of good people who've come along the way, helped out either for a long time or a short time, because I can't do this myself. And there's a lot of people out there that I need to thank, today and from yesteryear, that helped us get where we are. First and foremost, my business partner, Ashy. He's an amazing friend. We've been friends for about 18 years. And him and his brother, Rob, are very good friends of mine. And I love them to death. And Ashy took a business opportunity to help us out and get things going, build us a studio, because he saw the future. And he sees what we can do. We're not there yet. We've had to go through a number of bumps on the road that cost us, at times. But the main thing is we got there. Okay, we got to where we are today. Barely. I want to say thanks to Chuck, who is our sound guy and our syndication guy out of California. I met Chuck after we had some turmoil here in Spaced Out Radio land, where we had to make some immediate changes. And Chuck has been with us almost 2 years, and he has one of the most beautiful radio voices I have ever heard. He is a mentor. He is a friend. He is someone who has helped set up the studio. He takes our calls anytime during the day and night. Just an incredible guy. And his daughter apparently is one hell of a good hockey player down in California. Unfortunately, COVID has ruined things for potentially her getting a scholarship right now. Let's hope that changes. My immediate team, there's Bob Davis, who is someone who introduces me. So when you hear that deep, beautiful voice at the breaks, it reintroduced me. Bob Davis is a great ex-radio voice out of Edmonton, Alberta. His health is in decline, but getting to hear his voice every night is just phenomenal. We got Corrence, the booking guy, who is, without him, I would be lost. One of the tough jobs of this entire field is booking this show. I know because I've done it. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure to get the right person. You need to be able to research that person to see if they're clean, because we've had a few iffy people come through over time, and that's because we missed the research. We can only do so much. And, Corey does a fantastic job. He's got a great mustache, one of the best mustaches in paranormal radio, to be honest. And, without Corey, I'm lost. I don't even have to worry about my schedule anymore, because I know Corey has my back. I know that he has, some of the guests he's been able to reel off have been incredible. So, Corey, I want to say thank you for making us that much better. I know I don't say it enough on the air. I know I tell you privately, but on the air, man, you really do make us that much better. And I thank you every day that you're on our team. I want to say thank you to a lovely young lady who likes to be known on Twitter as Spookles the Cat, Spook Cat. And she's been a fan for a while, and one day she contacted me and said, hey, is there anything that I could do to help you out, to help you grow? I said, yeah, I need a social media person. So she takes care of our Instagram. She makes sure our Twitter is updated. She makes sure that we're ready to go and gets the posts out there every single morning. She has an amazing, amazing time. And she doesn't have a lot of time. She doesn't. I mean, she and her husband are trying to get their own stuff together. He's got a great job working as an instructor at a university, and she's just as brilliant working the same. And, we've talked a number of times, and we couldn't do what we do without her, and she replaced another great friend of this show, Catherine, who did our social media for a couple of years. And, and then Catherine had to move on because just time wouldn't permit for her. And when you're asking for volunteers, some of them can only stay as long as they have time for it. It's something that it means a lot. It means a lot when somebody gives the time. I think of Captain Shirk, Gail, who is somebody who does our news every single night. Every single night. Her news is fantastic. And sometimes we clash on it. We do. And sometimes I don't think she can find her glasses and put some weird stories in there. But Gail works hard. She's been an amazing help for us. She's been an amazing backbone for this show. And we can't do it without her. We can't. She makes us sound that much better. You know, I think of some of our former weekend people, whether it's Tessa or whether it's Rich Giordano or Everett Thiemer or Dave Cruz, who were solid, good people. John and Stacy Edwards. They would Michael W. Hall. Great people. All great people that we brought. Now, sometimes, you know, egos clash and changes are made, or sometimes people just have personal things going on in their lives, or they want to try something different. You know, I look at Rich Giordano. I mean, he wanted to go out on his own and really do the YouTube thing, and he's doing a great job with that. Phenomenal job. All right. I look at a lot of these people and I just think, wow, you know, this is incredible. I look at our Twitter crowd, you know, from Marty to Derek to Goddess Michelle to Canadian Joe and Maureen and Skeptic and the Clam who does our passwords and Lulabelle and Cannoli Diva and Shanna Banana and all of these great people who are out there in Twitterverse who are here nearly every night snarking the daylights out of me. Snarking the daylights out of me. And, you know, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy the humor. I think of, you know, there's a chat group out there called LGAB where a gentleman there named Bart L has been helped us out, and his entire crew has helped us out. You know, in learning the technical side of the radio side with that experience. And, you know, we don't talk often. Maybe once every few months, he'll get a hold of me and he'll be like, hey, what's going on? You know, do you need any advice? Or I'll contact him and say, hey, you know, how would I handle this situation or that situation? You know, they're just fans. But you meet some really good people. Really good people. Later this week, we have brought back one of probably my favorite interview that I have ever done on this show. And a guy named Nelson Dellis is going to join us. He's a 4-time United States memory champion. And this is a guy, he's mountaineered almost every major peak in the world except Everest. And he's going to come on to this show and he's going to blow your mind about what it's like almost dying on Mount Everest. Not once, twice, almost 3 times. 3 times. And what it's like to have, you know, wake up in the middle of the night to Everest almost haunting him, waking up in the middle of the night calling his name. You know, I look at our YouTube chat and our Spreaker chats and our Revolution Radio chat rooms and those in the Space Travelers Clubs on Facebook and our website. I mean, you guys are just awesome. You keep me going every single night with your wit, your humor, your comments, your questions. Our activity in the chat room is absolutely amazing each night. And, you know, we kind of bond together. And if you're new to the show or you're someone who listens but you don't really, you know, want to do the chat thing or the Twitter thing, try it out. There are some brilliant people out there. They're way smarter than me, way smarter. And I can tell you this, a lot of what they push me to be better. All of you push me to be better and stronger in this. And I got to do it. I have to continue to get better because of all of you. You guys want it to be better, so I have to do that. So that's what I'm doing. Is I'm trying to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to be heard in our chat rooms and the support that we get. I thank our stations, Saga 960 in Mississauga, Ontario, UPRN in New Orleans, WQEE in Atlanta, KZAX in Bellingham. We have KZFX in California. We have another station in Oregon. I love you guys and the people who listen there, for supporting this show. A lot of these stations never really had live nighttime programming. It was all canned. And they gave us an opportunity because they heard what we were doing, and we've been able to grow. We've been able to grow and help them create an audience base that maybe hasn't or hadn't been there before. And we appreciate that opportunity. We totally do. On the digital side with Revolution Radio, UPRN on their digital side, on KPNL. I'm thankful for those opportunities to get our message out, whether it's, 10 listeners shooting on in or whether there's 10,000 who are tuned on in. Really doesn't matter to me, as long as we're being able to get some good entertainment out. And, over time, the whole thing is shifted. The whole thing is shifted to a lot of fun. And I look forward to see what the next year brings. I look forward to the challenges. I look forward to, everything that kind of happens around this show. It's exciting. It's very exciting to be in this seat and seeing who Corey has on the air. Half the names shock me. Seeing who, where things are going to go. And we keep pushing. We keep working hard, and we're going to continue to do that. I always said that if we weren't picked up by a bunch of radio stations by year 5, I would probably pack it in. Well, here we are through year 6, going into year 7, and I still got the energy to do this. I still got the love to do this, the passion to do this, and it's the great people that we get to meet, whether they're in our chat rooms, whether it's on social media, whether it's at conferences, that really blows my mind. And to the big thing, the biggest part of it all here, ladies and gentlemen, is this. And I've said this before sparingly, but I'll repeat it here. 6 years in, I've seen our audience start from 10 listeners a night up to where we are now, which is, it's mind-staggering. It's very mind-staggering. And I look at everybody who I've met and everybody who I've had the pleasure to interview. I think we're around 1,500 shows, somewhere around those lines. All right. And the key is that we have the ability to talk to each and every one of you. And the fact that you as listeners have chosen to share your precious time with us means the world. It means the world. Time is finite. We all don't have enough time on this wonderful planet that we call Earth. And the fact that you guys out there, wherever you are, whether you're online listening on YouTube or the digital side or the terrestrial radio side, or you're listening to the podcast when it goes into podcast form or whatever it is, the fact that you are choosing to spend your time with us and what we do at Spaced Out Radio is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I am so thankful for that. I am so thankful for being able to present to you some fun, entertaining programming of the weird, the strange, the odd, the circumstantial, the paranormal. It is weird. I love the woo. We're going to continue to bring you the woo because that's what we do here. We're here to entertain you. This world is not a good place right now. And if we, for 3 hours a night or 10 minutes a night or 2 hours a night, whatever you could tune into, if we can take you away from how hard this world is right now, we've done our job. And by the looks of our numbers, through the radio stations, through YouTube, through the digital stations, through Twitter, our numbers keep going up. And I owe that all to you guys for believing in what we do and needing that little mind vacation nightly from the mainstream news, from the politics, from COVID, from everything along those lines, except for the Toronto Maple Leafs not winning the Stanley Cup again since 1967, which still feels good to me, people. It still feels good to me. So once again, thank you so much for allowing us to come into your home, to talk to you each and every night. And, please know that we don't take that very lightly, that you allow us to do that. We don't at all. And, it's a little part of us, a little part of you, and somehow we're all able to get along, have some fun, enjoy the woo, and then pack it up at the end of the night and say, see you all again tomorrow. Because that's what we do. We love you, and thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of what you guys do. I know this sounds sappy. I know that this sounds a little overbearing. It's like, end the show already, Dave. End the show. Don't worry. We will end the show. Once again, thanks to my team, Corrance, Spookles the Cat, Gail, Bob, Chuck, Ashy, you name it. We're there, and we're going to continue to be there as we now kick off year number 7 of Spaced Out Radio coming up tomorrow night, and there's no place that I would rather be than right here at SOR headquarters. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody in our chat rooms tonight on Spreaker, YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club on our website, Twitter, and hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Your snark all around, everyone, was beautiful tonight. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, say it with me, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the 6th year in a row. But tomorrow night, my friends, we'll ride again on year 7. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, guess what? We got room for them too. Good night. That's a good show, people. Solid radio right there. Solid radio. Very, very happy with this. Very happy. And meant what I said. Meant what I said. That you guys, honestly, you keep me going. You keep me going. And, I'll be honest with you. I'm hurting here. I really am. But, and no, I'm not looking for sympathy, okay? But I can honestly say that, I don't want to let you guys down, go to the bloody hospital, so that way I could go get checked out for what I already know, that nothing's broken. No, I got a show to do. What good Canadian kids do. Shake the pain off. Go for it. Thank you, gorgeous Teresa, for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Hey, Bombshell Bomber. Yes, it is a good hair day today. It is a good hair today. Marty, thank you for the amazing clown tonight. All right. Thank you. And Derek, I love you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. Tomorrow, I can't wait for Wednesday. For those of you who've never heard Nelson Dellis speak, this topic's going to freak the shit out of you. It really is. And listening to him tell that story of literally waking up in the middle of the night hearing Everest calling his name. I mean, that's just amazing woo. That is, you don't get power woo like that very often, people. You don't. I mean, you got to warm up to woo like that. You really do. You just can't jump. I mean, some people like Derek, he stretches for at least 6 hours a day prepping for that woo. He really does. He's got to be careful, though, because if he doesn't train just perfectly, that woo can hurt if you're not prepared for it. There's been a couple of times we've caught him off guard. He's been hyperventilating and all sorts of stuff. It's something we got to be careful of and cognizant of. And I know there are people out there, trust me, I see the critics, all right, but I know there are people out there who don't like what we do, okay? They don't like the fact that, we really promote the woo. They don't like the fact that we are, not getting into the hardcore science of it all or anything like that, okay? They're wanting, we don't shit on guests. We don't try and break guests on the air. We don't try to embarrass someone. We don't do that. But what we do is we allow people the opportunity to, make or break themselves. And thank you for the awesome clown, Marty. I did actually mean to get to the thought of the day. And then when I looked at the clock, there was like only 4 minutes left because I was yapping too much. So, I don't know. But the whole point that I'm getting at is that there's a lot of good stuff out there, but we're going to continue to do what we do, right? We're going to continue to just have some fun, man. Would I eat breakfast for dinner on 10,000 K? If we would have hit it in August, I would have. October, I would have. That bet now. That bet now is off the table. So, Brett, a soccer player would literally be in the casket right now. Yeah. Wow, what an awesome night, everyone. What an awesome night. We have Butch Witkowski here. We have all of you guys here. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty damn cool. And pretty awesome. When you sit back on this side, and I sit up here all alone in my little town, and I try and figure it all out. It's a pretty blessed life, man. It's a what is the make of my chair? It's a Serta Sealy, I think. I know it's got the Serta Sealy padding in it, PBR. It's pretty badass, to be honest with you. It is. It's pretty badass chair. I paid a lot of money for it. But I can sure tell the difference, that's for sure. Because I know that my ass isn't hurting too much tonight after that fall. And that hurt. That hurt. I should have grabbed a picture, to be honest. But I was just in too much pain. I was in way too much pain. Wear a poncho like the Watchers do. No. Let's do another. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, Fapster. My hair's about almost halfway from where it's going to end up. That's the goal. That is the goal. Grow it back. Grow it back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've never wiped out this bad on the ice before, ever. Ever. I guess what's that? Oh no, that's the start of the show right there. Oh dude, it hurt. I'm sure by the time I wake up in the morning, there is going to be some serious pain. Serious pain. I love you too, Chris Mo. I do. I'll throw you a kiss too, man. Mwah! There you go. Spudger. Oh yeah, I know. I have no male pattern baldness either, man. Not a single piece of male pattern baldness. I go to the hairdressers, man, or the barber or whoever, and the first thing they always say is, "Damn, you have a lot of hair." And I'm like, "Yes, I know. My job is to dull your clippers. Now get to work." By the way, the longer the massage on the scalp, the more tip you get. No, I just wore the wrong shoes for stupidity. I wore my indoor shoes outside, and they have no grip on them, and I slipped. They're like my most comfortable shoes. So that's what happened. Trying to do too much at once. And that's what happened there. So honestly, that shit hurt. That shit hurt bad. Really did. Where is the end? Start of the next. Like that. So I'm just hoping my chiropractor can see me tomorrow. All I'm really hoping for. Probably should have went for x-rays. But I didn't want to rub in the Canadian healthcare system. Thank you. Appreciate you guys, man. I do. I appreciate you guys. You broke your hip, Human Carl? That's got to be painful, man. That's got to be painful. Oh, I'll find relief. I'm not too worried about it. Thank you, Reverend Keith. Bombshell. I broke my heart. Then she's found Celine Dion because her heart learned that her heart will go on. Hey, Greco, where have you been hiding? Where have you been hiding? How come you haven't been around? Look at Alaska's greatest athlete, Ladybug Bigelow there. She's chiming on in, people. Careful of her. Where the hell is the end of this? That's it, right? I'd like to see Alaskan Sasquatch go against Ladybug Bigelow. That'd be one hell of a pay-per-view fight. She's like, it's only 11:11 right now. Check it out, 11:11. Yeah, you don't think I watch the clock knowing that you're an hour behind. Yeah, Science Bob is incredible too, man. Science Bob is incredible, and you know, I talk to Science Bob almost every day. Almost every day. And Science Bob is I'm sure there's a few times he'd like to slap me silly. But he puts up with me. I don't know why. He puts up with me. And I appreciate him for it, man. I totally appreciate Science Bob. But it's not just Science Bob, though. And I love Science Bob. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay his influence on my schedule. But, I mean, it's everybody. It's David Weatherly. It's Varla Ventura. It's R. Keith Andrews. It's Merle. It's people like Olaf Phillips and Grant Cameron and you know, Butch and Bill Hauser and a lot of amazing people. Please give who a shout out? Brian? Who's Brian? Brian! Brian! Where are you? Oh, Science Bob's beard is kicking the crap out of mine right now. Totally kicking the crap out of my beard. I think I've gone through 2 or 3 beards in his one. Hi, Brian. How you doing, man? Thanks for coming on out. Thanks for coming on out. And so, let me go here. And, get this started. For this. Good night, Ladybug Bigelow. Alaska's greatest athlete. There she is. Ladybug Bigelow. Geraldine Orozco's another one. You know, there's been other people who've come and gone. Z Troyman in Scotland. How you doing, man? Good morning to you. Oh. Well, hi to Brian. Human Brian. Human Carl's friend, Human Brian. That works for me. I can handle that. Ow. Oh. Hey, Derek, how you doing there, tired of ramen? Happy Wooversary. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. You know? We're trying, man. We're trying. God, I forgot to put up the schedule. Oh. Who do I have on tomorrow night? Geraldine Orozco's tomorrow night. Then we got Nelson Dellis. Then we got Rebs. I don't know. Is it Reebs or Rebs, Cords, the booking guy? I don't know. Mike Walden, how you doing, man? Remember, if you guys have anybody that you want us to try and get on the air, go to bookings at spacedoutradio.com. Bookings at spacedoutradio.com. And Gordon's the booking guy. We'll see if we can get that person on. Right? I just haven't erased my calendar yet. Oh, gosh. Corey keeps me so up to date. I'm so lagging behind. He just kicks my ass on this. Like every day. Who do we have on? Who do we have on? Dave, shut up. Or my mustache will suplex you. No worries, Chris Mo. We love doing it, man. I have so much fun. I really do. I have a ton of fun doing this. Like, I'm pretty blessed. I can tell you guys right now, I am pretty blessed to be able to do this. And I don't want to stop either. You know, I need something cool happening in my life. You know, I don't play hockey anymore. I don't snowmobile. You know, I have my side-by-side. I have, you know, I don't ride bikes anymore. I don't golf. Can't go cut fire. Well, I could go cut firewood now, but I've got enough. Well, I got really nothing really to do. I mean, my family all goes to bed early. Yes, our Keith Andrews is Friday. So, I just keep going, man. I just keep going. Right? That's all I do. I have a pretty introverted life. Believe it or not, I have a pretty introverted life. You know, I only like company over for like 12 minutes. Once that 12-minute factor is over, I tune you out. It's only if you're at my house. Except Merle. I don't tune Merle out. Much love, gorgeous Teresa. Clam, I don't know if I'd get out of the tub right now. I really don't. All right. You know what we got to do, guys, is we got to get the verification code in. That time once again where we need your verification code, is we got to transfer this to the radio station. So tonight's verification code is 554966. 554966. 54966. Almost a palindrome. We could have just switched that up a little bit. Could have had a good power. No, we couldn't have because of the 4 and the 9. Damn it, I was excited there for a second. Nope. Not a choice. Yeah. We may be, I'm going to put this out there for you guys. If COVID allows the border to open, myself, Merle, and do you remember the person we had on a couple of weeks ago with Merle named Bima G? He runs the Bigfoot tours in Harrison Hot Springs, British Columbia. Where we're actually thinking, and we've been talking over the last couple of weeks, putting on a Paracon in Harrison Hot Springs, And so hopefully with COVID and everything that we could get this crap dealt with ASAP, so that way the borders can open up and we can start some serious planning for this Paracon. And so far, we've already got verbal confirmations. We're taking it pretty seriously. We've got verbal confirmations from Grant Cameron, Ross Allison, Samantha Mowat, Nate Rudd, and Corey Date from Wibbs. Talking some Bigfoot. And that's where we started so far. And so that means that a bunch of you are going to have to come do this Paracon. And so we're going to make it happen. We need that border open so Ladybug Bigelow can travel south, right past old SOR headquarters on the highway. She can wave and honk when she drives by. And we can have all of you, our American listeners, come up through Washington State and come enjoy. So that is a plan. The tentative dates right now are September 17th, 18th, 19th. September 17th, 18th, 19th. So put those on your calendar. Tickets will be... Hi, Char Martin. How are you? I love Butch. We love you. We're loving Butch. Spudger, I'd love to, man. I'd love to. My bank account says otherwise, though. Way. You could stay in Chilliwack there, Sandra Heath. Totally. Tickets are going to be for the entire weekend, I think $200. And so for our American clientele, if let me see here. Convert Canadian dollar to US dollar. Let's go 200 Canadian. Right now only equals out to 154 American. Did you get the picture of my the alien earrings? Yes, I did, dude. Those were awesome. Don't worry, there's lots of room, Derek. Lots of room. Lots of good woo up here, too. Lots of good woo. Lots of seriously good woo. Where are we? All right, we got like 35, 40 seconds. That. I'm going to pay the price tomorrow. I totally know I'm going to pay the price tomorrow. Oh, God, all I can do is laugh at it. That's all it's going to be. That's all it's going to be. Just paying the price. I want a Zamboni ride, Bomber. I can arrange a Zamboni ride for you, Fapster. Oh, let's share the folder here. All right, everyone. I want to say a big thank you once again to gorgeous Teresa, to the lovely and talented Jenny, to the super hot Lots in the UK, to Reverend Keith, Cable Guy Matt, Kyle, Aussie Rob, Bigfoot Rob, Fabster, Inzane and Lee, Major Lee, for the amazing super chats. Thank you for the 133 people who gave this one a thumbs up, to the 181 people who tuned on in at one point. And hi, Princess Denali. How are you, gorgeous? We are going to shut this thing down right about now because I'm going to put year 6 in the books with an injury. And but we didn't sit on the DL. You know, we still came out and played a hard game tonight. Tomorrow night on the show, Geraldine Orozco joins us. And I'm very thankful for that because she's such a loving, kind soul and well worth the everything that she gets too, man. We're lucky to have her on. And we'll do it all again, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. Yeah, you know where to find us. So we will see you all tomorrow night. I'm going to go rest my back. Probably going to go either to the chiropractor or to the hospital to get some x-rays tomorrow, see what's going on. But we're going to see where we're going. I don't think I will last in a bathtub right now there, Bombshell. I really don't. Not that I wouldn't have a problem getting in. I would have a problem getting out. I can just tell. But maybe I'll go stand in the shower for a little bit. Brian Bittner, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you. All right, guys. You have a good night. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do to make us better. And thanks for keeping it on pushing us, too. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Much love.